Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to Fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams.
And welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad Bryan to my right, your right, everybody's right. I'm Eli Moon, and we're back in the saddle, on the saddle adjacent here, and we are back in full force. Chad B back with us. He was obviously on earlier today at a legal formation with TK Dandridge. A lot to break down there with the AFC North, the Browns, the Steelers, Ravens, Bengals, so much going on. But, of course, he's back here in the saddle with me and all of you for Inside Edge Primetime. We're back all week long. A few notes with this week as we're kind of gearing up for football season. Got some things going on. Of course, it's rocking and rolling, but we are back at full strength here on the nighttime side. We're excited to have him back. He had a great vacation, I imagine. I'll ask him here in a second. But I hope you all are enjoying yourself as well. If you haven't been here before, hello. If you have been before, hey, welcome back. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow at Inside Edge Net on all the socials, YouTube X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitch, all that great stuff. Check it out. Smash that notification bell so you know when we're going live for daily shows. A lot of great weekly programming for you as well. So much stuff. So make sure you lock in with Inside Edge Net on all the socials. Go check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Read about your favorite personalities like Chad Bryan and everybody who does a great job. Go to our partners page. Check out our great partners. Couldn't do without them. Fanatics.com, AlleyRoseFragrances.com, Omega Video Marketing, Monster Moments, SportsMemorabilia.com, and W Energy. And, of course, you at home. Go check out some great deals at the merchandise store. Go rep Cleveland's digital leader, your source for sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, news, and everything in between. Whether it's a hat, a shirt, a mug, a polo, a windbreaker, get it all ready to go and rep the Inside Edge Network. And, of course, download the Inside Edge Network app on Roku. Take us wherever you want to go, to the disco, to the bar, out of state, far, wherever you want to go. Take us with you. Inside Edge Network app on Roku. All right, Chad B, you're back in the saddle. I know you were talking earlier, but we are back here for Inside Edge Primetime, both of us in the flesh. How are you feeling?
Not bad, man. Refreshed, ready to go. I thought you were gonna Dr. Seuss us with the Roku app there. I was like, all right, like we're going in the car, we're going far, we're gonna go to the bar.
Yes.
I didn't know where we were gonna go, but I knew they were all gonna rhyme. Pretty good, man. We didn't like go anywhere crazy or anything. Last year we went on vacation about this time of year, about the same time of year. Mm-hmm. And oddly, I was going to say I wasn't on vacation from the network, but the network wasn't a thing yet this time of year last year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wild. We were not even an infant. We were just a gleam in our program director's eye.
Yes.
It's a nice story. But no, we went to Virginia Beach last summer, and it's just like did not want to do another long trip. So we decided, and we didn't even really decide until the last second that we took them to Great Wolf Lodge when they were younger, and they loved it, right? So we hadn't been for a couple of years or whatever, and we're like, you know what, we'll go back, and they'll enjoy it, they'll have fun. So we went to Great Wolf Lodge, and we just stayed a couple of days, no big deal. We were there like Wednesday through Friday, not even a full week, right? Mm-hmm. We get there Wednesday night, and at the Sandusky location. So right, we could sit on our balcony, we could see a couple of rides from Cedar Point, pretty cool. We're the first night we get to bed, we lay down about midnight or so. I finally laid down. The kids have been asleep for a little while, and I thought I was tired, and I'm like wide awake, right? Because that's like my time. I'm usually on a show, or I'm like doing something in photo, whatever, for the network, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm usually up pretty late doing something, and I laid there, I tossed and turned until about 3 a.m. Finally went to sleep, Eli, and I was like, all right, I didn't know that I was asleep. You don't know. It's not like you're like, okay, I'm asleep. It's not a body experience. I'm watching myself sleep. You don't know that. But the last time I remember really looking at the clock, it was about 2:49, 2:50. I remember seeing that time and thinking like, man, the kids are gonna get up at 7, want to do stuff. Like, I gotta go. I gotta get sleep. Yeah. Next thing I know, I wake up to like blaring sirens and like a honking sound. I don't know what that was. Like a constant this screech. The fire alarm was going off in the building. Which is an unpleasant way to wake up at 4:47 a.m. By the way,
Yeah.
So we get up and we get around and we figure out what's going on, and everybody, we're just like, we do the zombie walk along with everybody else, like all the people that you've seen there all day, because we had been there for most of the day.
Yeah.
So the people that you see walking around, they all look crazy too. Everybody's just like shuffling out, whatever. So we get outside, the fire department comes, and it took them about maybe 5 minutes. The response time was great. I'll give them that. It was the Perkins Fire Department, I believe. They were there quick. I mean, really, really quick. And we're all outside, and you see the firemen get out, and they put their jackets on, they walk in, and open the door and walk in. I mean, not even like 30 seconds later, they come out. They're like, all clear. Everybody can go back in. I'm like, so what got me out of bed at 4:47 a.m. that was that easily fixable? But I'm glad they came out and took a look. And obviously, you want to make sure people are safe or whatever. So the overreaction was the right reaction, but it was a little jarring to wake up at whatever time in the 4:45, 4:47. Who knows the exact time? Little jarring thing to wake up to, the fire alarm blaring on your first night of vacation after you just fall asleep. So that whole next day, that was mostly a day of zombie walks as well. I was pretty tired, but it was fun, man. We had fun. I enjoyed it. That's what it's all about. It doesn't matter. So.
Good. Very good. I'm glad that everything went well. I'm glad there was only a false alarm, not a real alarm. That's very good. I'm glad you sound recharged. I'm glad to have you back. We're all glad to have you back. And yeah, man, that reminds me of one time when I was living downtown and the fire alarm went off. And the fire alarm was so funny. Okay, that's not like funny, but it was funny downtown, because they're like, "Hello, this is letting you know that you're a fire alarm." Like, it was like talking to you. That was like how the fire alarm went off. And it did it the one time, and it would do it from time to time. It's like, whatever, and then it would stop. But it did it this one time, and I was like, whatever, dude. And then it did it again. I'm like, man, will somebody fix the damn fire alarms in this place? I'm so sick of them going off half-ass.
Right.
And I opened up the door, and there was like a huddle of people on the 7th floor. Is where I stayed, on the 7th floor, and they're opening up the garbage chute, like the door to the garbage chute. I'm like, well, what are they doing? They open the chute up. There is smoke. Like legit smoke just coming through, and I'm like, oh no. And this other guy is like standing over here, and he's like, we got to get everybody. I'm like, me? Like, I have to get everybody? So I'm like, hey, maybe we stop looking at the chute and get moving. Like, so I'm like, where are the stairs at this place? I've lived at this place now at that point like 6-7 months, 6-7, and I didn't know where the damn stairs were, because I always took the elevator. So I'm like, I don't know. You're going to have to guide us. I'll get the people. You guide us to the stairs. So we guided us to the stairs. We were outside for like, I don't know, an hour, maybe closer to 2 hours. It was the day before I was leaving for Vegas. It was crazy. A day or two before Vegas. And so I called Papa Moon, because they give us the all clear. You can go back in. Yeah, okay, there was just smoke. I'm not going to go sit in a spot where there was just smoke going on in my floor. And so Papa Moon came and grabbed us. We rocked out, for Vegas. Vegas was cool, and everything was cool. But that place was crazy, and we'll just leave it at that. But I'll tell you, Chad B, I found out, and we'll get into sports here. I found out somebody tossed a cigarette from like the 8th or 9th floor, tossed it down through the chute. It went down to the 3rd floor, and then went whoosh, and came back up. I mean, come on, man. Like, are we serious? Okay, that's a different
At least
show.
you get the resolution there. Honestly, and not that it's really any of my business. I guess the end of my business ended with the fire department coming and saying, "Hey, it's all clear. It's fine. You can go back in." But you are curious, did someone pull a fire alarm? So my wife got a text when we first got there. Sorry, and then we will get to sports eventually.
Yeah.
Tonight's the Great Wolf Lodge Hour. My wife got a text when we first got there that said, if you're going to take a shower or a bath tonight, to get it out of the way before midnight, because they were going to do some work on the plumbing or whatever, so you're going to lose hot water for a little while. Yeah. So part of me wondered if maybe they had the plumber in there and he's, I don't know, sealing something up with a torch or whatever, and it got a little wild, and who knows, maybe something happened, fire alarm went off, or who knows, maybe somebody was just like trying to smoke in their room and enjoy whatever, right? And they set the fire alarm off, or someone just walked by and said, this would be a funny thing to do at 4:47 a.m. Let's pull that. You never know, right? You never
know. I mean, maybe you were given some hot sports takes in your room, and maybe you set off the fire alarm. I don't know. That could be. You know what's good news, though? As I'm looking at my computer, it's doing stuff. It just did an auto update. And is my Stream Deck working now? It is. It's back. News. That's fantastic news. Well, hey, with that good news, let's transition right here into our first topic of the night, Chad B. And of course, the MLB trade deadline was at 6:00 p.m. It officially ended. No more trades. You get them in. Well, you can't anymore, but get them in before 6 p.m.
They got clear waivers now. It's all different.
Exactly, and it's gonna get crazy. It's gonna get crazy, and it did get crazy today. The Guardians were very active. I know, folks, we're shocked, and if you listen to the main event yesterday, I torched them. I mean, I went in, and and I even said, if they don't make significant moves, they'll finish third in the AL Central. I'm here today to say I'm not going to necessarily reverse that statement because we haven't seen the team play yet with these new additions, but I'm feeling a little bit better than I did.
That statement still stands, Eli. If they hadn't made moves, that's an okay statement to make. You can stand on that still. It's okay to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's true. Thank you, Chad. Exactly. I stand on business, actually. That's right. But the Guardians did make quite a flurry of moves today.
They did.
Yesterday they got after it early, moving on from Bo Naylor. It was the big piece. And coming back, of course, Craig Yoho, bullpen pitcher, a guy that I looked into it. He has 6 years of control. And that's a guy that you could really build long-term in that bullpen. We talk all the time. The loss of Emmanuel Clase, and Kate Smith obviously stepping up into the closer role and doing a pretty damn good job of doing that for most of the year. Last year, now this year is the full season as a closer. But you got a guy in Yoho who is interesting. I know we have some thoughts on Yoho, but just kind of recapping the big moves. Of course, there were other pieces in there, but Yoho stands out. And then Joe Adell, who we've talked about here on Primetime. I had some fun talking about him. He's become one of my favorite players in baseball before he became a Guardian. And now he leaves the Los Angeles Angels. And he obviously comes over here. Jacob Kozar, I believe, was the move over from the Guardians. Yeah. In the trend you'll see here is a lot of prospects were moved. Nobody from the main roster, the Major League Baseball roster for the Guardians. Then, of course,
and no huge prospects, really. Like nobody with big upside. I mean, I thought they did a nice job of improving without depleting the minor leagues. I thought they did great.
Absolutely. Foster Griffin, also all-star starting pitcher from the Nationals, comes over here. And then Nathaniel Lowe from the Reds. And we're trying to figure out if he's Nate or Nathaniel. Chris Antonetti talked earlier to the media and said Nate. So we're getting to the bottom of it. I actually saw Nick Camino does a lot of great work. He said he's going to ask and get some clarification at Progressive Field tomorrow if we call him Nate or Nathaniel. So stand by on that.
I would just throw everybody off and go by Nath if I were him. Nath. Why not?
I mean, I guess why not? Why not? Yeah, whatever. But look, a lot of moves. Obviously Griffin on the starting pitcher, a 12-3 record, a 3.06 ERA on the season. Mm-hmm. He goes from a team that really didn't have any playoff hopes in the NL East that, the Braves, we talked about obviously your Braves, the Braves are there. You have the Phillies in there in the mix, and even the Marlins are staying a little competitive, trying to make a push for a wild card spot. So you have some teams that are interesting enough. Nationals decide to move on. That was a big move. Obviously Nathaniel Lowe, a guy that isn't going to impress with power, but he's going to bring a lot of hits to the plate. And he's really good with runners in scoring position. I was talking to Pop Moon earlier, Chad, and then I'll hand it off to you. But, Pop's like, man, but if he doesn't hit over the fence, we need something. I said, I get it. But at this point, the guys on this team can't even bring runners home. So I don't care if hit it to the wall and bring two home. And, and then we started talking. He's like, you know what? You're right. The Royals, the small ball, and all of this, we've made it happen. He started reflecting on some of his days. So that was a cool trip down memory lane, as well. But sticking with the Guardians here for a moment. Lowe, Griffin, Yoho, and Adell. How are you feeling about these Guardians moves? Buster Olney from ESPN said they're the number one team in the AL now, power ranking post-trade deadline. How are you feeling about Cleveland?
Well, I think it just depends on how everyone settles into their new role and their new city, right? As far as Nath Lowe goes,
Nath Lowe.
I'm going to make it a thing. I'm going to do it.
Okay, all right.
Make it into existence. He's going to be like, I didn't even know my name was Nath. That's crazy. No, as far as that goes, like you said, maybe not a ton of power. And I know that, what have we said the Guardians have needed since, before they were the Guardians, right? From day, it's like always add the big right-handed power bat. But as far as Lowe goes, like you said, just good with runners in scoring position. That's been a big problem for the Guardians, not only this year, but, on a lot of Guardians and Indians teams of the past. Mm-hmm. So many runners left in scoring position, or just left on base in general. And it's nice to have some guys that can barrel the ball up and that are actually good with runners in scoring position. So you don't get a runner on third with nobody out and not score. That's not acceptable. At the major league level, there should be almost nothing. I know, I get it. The pitchers are really good. They're definitely trying to get you out. They don't want you to just do whatever you want to do at the plate, contrary to the way that I believe some people think. Like you're supposed to hit a home run every time you go up because you're a major leaguer, but that's not how that works. But just to get someone who knows what to do with runners in scoring position. It's not always getting a hit even, right? Sometimes it's just it's flying out to right field. It's hitting a ball deep enough to get a runner home, or hitting a ground ball past the pitcher up the middle, right? Like deep enough into a hole one way or the other just to get a run home. It's just someone who's good with the bat in their hands in those situations is such an upgrade because you have a chance to get it. Runs matter. Not to make light of the lettuce situation right now. We have a runs. Those aren't the kind of runs you want, right? You want your runs to preferably be in the form of runners crossing home plate in a baseball game. So, yeah, the Guardians have had a big problem with that. And it's funny because, while we're saying things that we said that were wrong, I was asked many times about the Chicago White Sox. And I said many times, they won't be here in August.
Yeah.
Technically I was right because they were tied for first at that point, and now they're 3 games up on the Guardians. So I guess I was right. No, the White Sox are way ahead of schedule. So you got to start getting some guys in the lineup that can put the bat on the ball. And again, it's not necessarily about hitting the big 3-run home run. It's just about getting runs across the plate. As far as Joe Adell goes, absolutely electric defender. We saw, the game earlier this season, he robbed 3 home runs in 1 game. And baseball's cruel. A couple months later, he had a ball go off his head over the wall for a home run. That happens. So now he and Jose Canseco are the 2 players in Major League history that have had that happen to him. That's fun. But yeah, Adell, 37 home runs last year. He's hitting 20. He's hit, I think 20 home runs at least over the last 3 seasons. He instantly becomes your best power hitter in that lineup right now. Right. So a lot of people I saw, knocking that trade, but you get a plus defender, a guy with a great arm, guy with good speed, obviously barrels up the ball pretty well. He's flashed some power. I thought a great job by the Guardians. For as much as you can do with the perceived financial limits that we see the Guardians having, it's not that they don't have the money. They have a spending limit that they pretty, adamantly stick to. Right.
Right.
I thought they did a nice job of improving this team without giving up too much as far as, long-term future prospects or talent or whatever. If they can get it going offensively, this is a pretty good team. I mean, they've got the pitching, right?
Right.
They addressed some bullpen issues. They addressed some outfield power issues. I mean, they're looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? I was so shocked, first off, with the Joe Adell trade, because you sent that over to me when the news broke and the Guardians reported it, obviously, announced the trade. I was shocked. And in the fact, I thought that may have been the end of Stephen Kwan today, like in Cleveland. Yeah. I thought, okay, now you got Joe Adell, you got some of these other guys, obviously, they can play the outfield, David Fry, some of these other guys that, of course, some news came out. With Fry, with Manzardo, Antonetti, the president of baseball operations for the Guardians, announced that, David Fry and Kyle Manzardo are going to go down to AAA. They're going to be optioned for right now. They're going to move down. Juan Brito, another move as well. Don't want to get swept under the rug. The Guardians DFA'd him earlier, but instead they were able to flip it to a trade for the Reds, and they got cash consideration. So, that will be for our next free agent in 10 years. But besides that, all jokes aside, I was really excited about the Adell move because now it's like you solidify, yes, you're going to have your moments where he's going to kind of leave you scratching your head because he does strike out a decent amount and things like that. But he still does bat pretty well. 16 home runs, 62 RBIs. He's somebody that's going to bring some pop to this offense. In fact, the stat is he's the leader in home runs for the Guardians as of right now. Now, he hasn't hit one as a Guardian, but take over his total. He has more than any Guardian right now on the roster, and that's impressive. Nate Lowe or Nathaniel Lowe, he's a guy that's, as we mentioned, is going he's going to get on base, and he's going to consistently get on base. The OPS is strong for him, and I think that's something exciting. Again, with Manzardo going down, with Fry going down, you now have a spot where Rhys Hoskins and Lowe, it sounds like from Antonetti, and he said he's going to leave it up to, of course, Guardians manager Stephen Vogt to decide, but it seems like you'll see some platooning between Lowe and Hoskins at first base, so that'll be interesting, of course. We'll see what that looks like for that outfield, too, just thinking of everything here for the Guardians, just unpacking it, as it only happened for a few hours, kind of seeing what this team looks like. But Adell in right field, Stephen Kwan survives in Cleveland. That's a big thing as well because a lot of people, myself included, thought he may not be in Cleveland after this trade deadline, and it shows that the Guardians are all in. They kept Kwan, Adell in right, and then you probably look at Angel Martinez in center field. We'll kind of see there with the outfield. But yes, Adell is exciting, Lowe is exciting. I think Foster Griffin's somebody that we should keep an eye on. Now, of course, the big thing about Adell is he has another year after this year. Now, we'll see what that means with the lockout, how that works for contracts and all that jazz. Yeah. But you have this year and next year, as of right now, with Joe Adell under team control. Yoho, as I mentioned, 6 years of team control. Foster Griffin is interesting because he's essentially a rental. if the Guardians don't want to pay him. He's 30 or in his 30s, early 30s, and he's somebody that, again, 12-3 this year for the Nationals, a 3.06 ERA, somebody that's really impressive. I mean, he has some nasty stuff, and they called him a baseball nerd. I was reading all over social media where he has 6, 7, 8 pitches in his repertoire that he can really go to and strike. Yeah, yes, exactly. But we were just talking the other day. It's so funny about control pitchers and the repertoires instead of blowing, by guys with fastballs every time. And Foster Griffin's almost one of the last guys, it seems like, in baseball right now that can do that. And he's doing it at a very strong clip. He adds to a rotation with Parker Messick, with Gavin Williams. Kind of takes a little bit of pressure off of Tanner Bybee so that he can kind of just relax. I mean, he's still got to take care of business, but it's not as much pressure as he had going into spring training, into the regular season start. All that jazz. What it means for Slade Ciccone, for Joey Cantillo, we'll kind of see. I think Ciccone's probably going to the bullpen, but if anything, this is a great thing for the Guardians to get stronger in that bullpen, and moving one of those guys, Ciccone or Cantillo, is going to be it's going to be interesting because now your bullpen with Yoho and one of those guys, it just gets stronger by the moment. That's really what I took away from all of this. Of course, those are the big ones: Griffin, Lowe, and Adele. And then, of course, we mentioned Yoho a few times. I think him having that control, somebody you get used to seeing in Cleveland because he's got a lot of nasty stuff. Could be somebody that comes in if you're needing a bullpen day, 4th inning to 6th inning, he could do something like that. He is somebody I'm actually excited about now that other moves have happened. I wasn't excited yesterday, and if you go back and watch Main Event, I was not thrilled. I mean, Craig Yoho was not who I wanted to talk about for 30 minutes on Main Event. But, hey, you know what? After everything transpires, I'm feeling a little bit better about the team. Of course, they didn't go out and get the guys we were talking about months ago, or at least I was, when I was trying to convince Chad that maybe go get Yordan Alvarez or Arias, Luis Arias, of course, Philadelphia. Yeah. But they made moves based off, like you said, their spending and their plan right now with the lockout possibly impending, with ownership change possibly happening in the next couple of years to David Blitzer. There's a lot to take into account. One thing's for certain, though, they didn't punt the season. That's what at least that's what I take away. They didn't punt the season. Right. They said, in a wide open AL, let's go snag this AL Central. We're still within striking distance. We're not 15 and a half games back. Let's go win the AL Central and see what it looks like, because there's other teams that are making stronger points, but the Rangers, who I thought would still compete, they basically were trying to sell off of everybody. Jacob DeGrom said no to his no trade clause. Said, I'm not going elsewhere. So
that included the Braves. The Braves kicked the tires a little bit with the Rangers on Jacob DeGrom. So yeah, they tried to make a move. They didn't do anything. They did the least of any first place team in baseball. So yeah, as a Braves fan, I feel a little disappointed. But I mean, when you start to talk about getting some guys back pitching wise toward the end of the season, I think they're a team that can stand pat. And actually, they can get better with guys coming back. They've got guys there. Not Spencer Strider. It appears he's done for the year again. Definitely concerned about his long-term future and just that arm in general. But it's a little disappointing. So yeah, if you're a Guardians fan, you got to feel good. You have to feel good.
Yeah, I definitely feel better. And I was looking at the schedule for the rest of August. Not a lot of tough matchups. Of course, they have a matchup, I believe, in Chicago coming up. Against the White Sox, but they have the Mets, in this rotation. They have the Angels. Joe Adele will get to say hi to his former team here soon. Just some teams that they really should take care of business against. And, who knows? By the end of August, maybe we're singing a different tune. I mean, Buster Olney already feels pretty good about the Guardians. I feel a little bit better. We'll see how they play, of course, because you got to go out there and put it together. But, the rotation's a lot stronger. You at least have some pop in the bat and guys that can bring runners home. So we'll see what it means, for the rest of this year, for the rest of the season, for the Guardians. One thing's for certain, though, Chad, I said it yesterday, I still stand on it. The Guardians are in a 3-team race now for the AL Central. Don't forget about the Twins. Twins are literally biting at the Guardians' heels. They are trying to get into that spot. And I only think one team in the AL Central will get into the playoffs. I still stand by that. I think we're going to see 2, if not 3 teams in the AL East. Boston got better today. New York got better, of course, the last couple of days here with their trades. Luis Garcia from Washington, I believe, over there.
Yeah, they just didn't do a lot, but yeah.
But their moves were, but him and Helio Ramos, Chad. I mean, that was interesting enough to make, and they're getting Judge back. We say it here in Cleveland, the injuries are our acquisitions. Well, they're getting a pretty big acquisition then in New York here soon with Aaron Judge.
Literally and figuratively, yeah. Real quick, just a quick note on Craig Yoho. I know we got to go to break. One of the cooler stories: Yoho did not pitch until COVID. He wasn't a pitcher. He was he was a prospect, but he wasn't a pitcher. Brewers scout Ginger Polson noticed him. He was playing catch with a new changeup grip that he was just basically toying with. And she, I think she had saw some things and like wasn't considered a pitching prospect at all, but she saw him throw this changeup and said, "Hey, listen, Brewers, might want to take this guy." He was at some point between Fishers High School, University of Houston, and Indiana. She was responsible for scouting him probably at some point when he was in Indiana, and whether in high school or in college or whatever, and noticed him throwing with his changeup and said, "Hey, you should take this guy with the 8th round pick." And by the that's going out on a limb, right? For a guy who's newly trying a position as hard as pitching, right? For to go to the Brewers and say draft him with your 8th round pick because I saw him throw this changeup is wild. But it clearly panned out. So yeah, shout out to Ginger Polson, man, Brewer scout Ginger Polson for noticing Craig Yoho, and I guess seeing the future, man. Scouts are amazing. The little things that they can pick up on sometimes on a player, it blows my mind. It's really cool. So I thought that was a cool story.
Absolutely, and we're happy to have him here in Cleveland. We're happy to have all the guys, Yoho, Adele, Griffin, Lowe. I'm very excited for all of the guys the Guardians were able to acquire over the last couple of days. And
especially Nath Lowe. Yeah, especially Nath Lowe.
Especially Nath Lowe.
Great name. Yeah.
You can't forget about Blake Perkins, too. Of course, he'll be in AAA, a depth guy, not really batting strong, 147 and a homer on the year. They're going to see what they can do, obviously, and keep trying to get outfielders ready for the future of Cleveland Guardians baseball. So they add to the farm. They don't give up too much on the farm. I think only one top 25 prospect. Nobody from the Major League roster gone. Of course, they optioned Fry and Manzardo. Somebody's got to go down. They got to make room for the new guys. But everybody intact. Stephen Kwan's still here. That's a big thing. So I'm very happy with all that. I'll breathe a little easier tonight, knowing that the Guardians at least made some moves. Their most active trade deadline since 2016. Last time they were this active, they went to the World Series.
They did.
So we'll see. All right, Chad B and I, when we come back, we'll talk about, of course, a team that may be in the World Series for the 3rd straight year in a row, maybe a 3rd winning year for the Los Angeles Dodgers. The rich get richer. Tariq Skubal is a Los Angeles Dodger. The Dodgers also were active again today. Chris Bubic from the Royals, all-star pitcher, on the mound for the Royals, now on the mound for the Dodgers. He goes to the army of pitchers they have. And ridiculous. We'll talk about that, what it means for baseball. What does this mean for a lockout? What does it mean for the Dodgers? Should everybody just say whatever? Even though the Guardians move, should we just say, well, let's just get there and at least say we got there? What do we do as baseball fans? We'll talk about all that coming up next, and then later on. Training camp is obviously in full swing. The pads are on today. They were ready and rocking. Deshaun, Shador, Dylan Gabriel. We'll talk about it all when we come back later on in the show. Of course, it's Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad B, he's back. To my right, your right, everybody's right. I'm Eli Moon. This is Inside Edge Primetime on the Inside Edge Network. Back after this.
Key On Sports is the leader in Ohio high school athletic coverage in written, print, and video streaming. From the latest news and results and written content to the high school football game of the week every Friday, Key On Sports has you covered. The vision of 15-time published author Vince McKee has become the most trusted site in Ohio high school athletic news. From podcasts to player profiles, Key On Sports is your one-stop for all of it. Visit them today at keyonsports.com or on YouTube at Key On Sports. Check out their socials on Twitter and Facebook as well.
Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Discover our collection of body mists made with clean, minimal ingredients. Handcrafted with natural essential oils and clean ingredients, they offer a natural alternative to synthetic fragrances. Perfect for sensitive skin and those seeking clean, mindful self-care, and the perfect gift for you or your special someone. Courtesy of Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers, use that promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at SportsMemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to sportsmemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. Sportsmemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com. What's up, guys? Awesome episode of Unfiltered today. We talked about a lot, including the possibility of being able to vote at the age of 16. Wow, never thought I'd see that coming. Also, we talked about Max Miller, that whole controversy. We talked about a bunch of different things involving the MLB trade deadline. Tomorrow, big news in the sports world for Cleveland involving the WNBA franchise. We'll talk about their name and what they look like, and so much more when it comes to local news, everything happening here in Northeast Ohio, right here at your fingertips, Unfiltered, with Kyle Cornell, 5 p.m. tomorrow, right here on the Inside Edge Network.
And welcome back to Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Back with you. I'm Eli Moon, and usually I do this thing the opposite way, but to my right, your right, of course, everybody's right is...
Boosh Amuser.
Yes,
Boosh
exactly.
Amuser.
Boosh Amuser, everybody. He's
Boosh
back in the game.
Amuser.
Chad Bryan. To
Boosh
my right, your
Amuser.
right, everybody's right.
Boosh Amuser.
Let's just keep it on loop.
Boosh
The loop,
Amuser.
yeah.
I didn't know I was going to loop it.
Amuser. Boosh Amuser.
Yeah, that's him. That's him. Yeah, he's back. Chad Bryan, everybody. He's rocking with us. He is back in the saddle, on the saddle adjacent with me on Inside Edge Primetime. Welcome back, buddy. I missed you. Oh, my goodness. Boosh Amuser.
What is going on with Facebook? How did that happen? Oh, whatever.
Oh, yeah, we got a bone to pick with Facebook and a whole
A
different
couple, yeah.
With all that being said, of course, if you have been enjoying all the content, of course, the start of the week, and since September 2025, we're coming up with the 1-year anniversary of the Inside Edge Network. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow Inside Edge Net on all the socials, YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. Smash that notification bell so you know when we're going live for daily shows on Filtered with Kyle Cornell, 5 to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. And then, of course, the 3-hour, 3-show, 1-stream phenomenon, Inside Edge Primetime with Chad and I from 10 to 11 p.m., 11 p.m., The Daily Spiral with Autumn Chisholm. Of course, AA, Anthony Alford, Chad Bryan, and myself rotate as a co-host and have fun with Autumn and just talk about a plethora of things. And then Midnight Run with Anthony Alford, midnight to 1, our program director and our bro, running with you Monday through Friday all the way to 1 a.m. One stream in the evening, of course. Just stay locked in for 3 hours and rock with us. And, of course, a lot of great weekly programming as well. Real Talk with Pop Moon, The Voice of the Land, Illegal Formation, Main Event, so much great stuff. Make sure you read about all your favorite personalities at InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Again, InsideEdgeNetwork.com is where you're going to want to go. Read about your personalities. Check out our partners page. Couldn't do without them. Fanatics.com, AlleyRoseFragrances.com, MonsterMoments, SportsMemorabilia.com, WEnergy, and Omega Video Marketing. And couldn't do without you at home. So go rep Cleveland's Digital Leader, your source for sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, news, and everything in between. Of course, you can get a shirt, a hat, a mug, a polo, a windbreaker, all that. Rep Cleveland's Digital Leader. And, of course, that's the Inside Edge Network. And download the Inside Edge Network app on Roku. Take us wherever you want to go. On the road, traveling, to the disco. We really want to go disco, but wherever. Take us with you on Roku with the Inside Edge Network app. Mm-hmm. All right, Chabby, we got a little bit to talk about here, and we are obviously kind of running up against it. We're not out of time, but you know what? We're pretty good at talking, I'd say. So we're about 35 minutes into the show already, and now it's time to talk about those Dodgers. They made some news. Of course, Chris Bubick from the Royals, all-star pitcher going over to LA earlier today. That wasn't the big news. That wasn't the pitcher that everybody was freaking out about. It just made the rich got richer today again. But this weekend, over the weekend, Tariq Skubal became a Dodger. It was actually Saturday night. I was over with Double A and Kyle, and we were rocking out Evander, our new intern, who's absolutely great. I love having him, a new addition to the team.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. And, of course, Chazzy B, Music Artist City, part of La Hele, my music collective I'm a part of. He was there rocking, and Double A goes, "I'm so sick of baseball." That's literally the words he basically said. Maybe paraphrasing a little bit, but Saturday night when the news came out, yes, Tariq Skubal, a Los Angeles Dodger. He adds to Yamamoto, Ohtani, Snell, Glasnow, Sasaki, Robleski, Sheehan, now Bubik.
Cy Young, Walter Johnson, Bob Gibson, whoever. Those guys are all still there.
Is this the Dodgers? Is this the Dodgers year again? We just talked about the Guardians making these moves, and Buster Olney's high on them, and a lot of Guardians fans are feeling better, and the AL's wide open.
Yeah.
And there's some teams in the NL you can say, okay, they can go make some noise against the Dodgers, maybe the Brewers, but we've seen what happened last year with Milwaukee against LA, and they didn't have Tariq Skubal. Some of these other moves in teams, but are the Dodgers? Is this? Do we know who's winning the World Series now at this point? Is this over?
I don't want to say that because we like the Guardians here, and I'm a Braves fan, but listen, it's not, this is tough because I want to yell and scream and swear at the Dodgers, but I can't get mad at them for playing the game the way that Major League Baseball has set the game up to be played, right? Mm-hmm. If you have all the resources and all the money, which they don't have all the money. I think they have they have $1.1 billion, I think, in deferred money in contracts right now, which I don't necessarily think should be allowed. I feel like someday soon, one of these organizations is going to go, you know what? Screw it. All deferred money. We will offer you, who cares, $975 million over a 5-year contract. But here's the catch. We're not paying you until 2045, right? Okay. And it's okay. Well, that's almost 20 years down the road. And then in the next 10 years, that organization ceases to exist, right? Like they saw the writing on the wall, right? They're not an organization. Boom, they're done. What happens to the deferred money? Not that the Dodgers are going to shut down, but come on. We can't keep deferring money out until the 2030s and the 25. This is stupid. You got to do something, right? I, for a very long time, would have said that I was a baseball purist. Mm-hmm. I would leave the game alone. It's fine. 162 games. That's great. No salary cap. Cool. Earning potential for players. I love that, right? Don't cap them, whatever. If somebody wants to pay somebody. But now you've got a problem where half the league doesn't want to try to compete monetarily, right? Maybe a third of the league can't afford it. They just can't afford it. They don't have the money. Can't do it.
Right.
You're literally not in on any free agent. And I know, I get it. Cry, boohoo, whatever. These billionaire owners, not millionaire anymore, billionaire owners.
Right.
There's money there. Yeah, there's money there. But you also, before you can, you can't sign 300 some million dollars in contracts before you pay everyone, right? So you've got to pay the entire front office. You've got to pay the ushers. You got to make sure the concessions are paid for. You've got to make sure these things are paid. Believe it or not, these owners have bills, right? It turns out it's expensive to run a Major League Baseball team. I know you never would have thought. The electric bill alone, because my electric bill is skyrocketing, I would imagine it's not cheap to keep the lights on, right? You can't play games in the dark, so you got to do something there. A lot of teams just can't afford it, and that's just the way that it is. I know everybody thinks, well, all these owners have billions of dollars. Well, not really in liquid cash. They have assets that total up to however many billions, but a lot of the owners that own a sports team, they don't have liquid cash. They don't have a vault of money that's just being they're not Scrooge McDuck, right? Like, right. You don't go grab a bucket of cash and go, hey, come pitch for us, son, and you just get it like, what is this? It's a bucket of gold. Oh, okay, cool. That's not how that works, right? You don't get your bucket of gold until like 2036 if you sign with the Dodgers. So that's the problem for me. It's like the richest organization in baseball isn't even paying guys until 10, 15 years down the road.
Right. That's a big problem.
Huge problem at some point. A huge problem. It has to be fixed. I know we're talking about Tariq Skubal. I almost forgot the original question. But if this is what it takes, if we don't have baseball for a year to fix this in the future, because not having baseball for a year is better than when all these bills come due and all these teams don't have the money and they've forced them. Are you going to file bankruptcy as the Dodger? Like, what's going to happen, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. And you look at the Dodgers too, like, the bankruptcy and all that with the TV deal, and then them being able to include that in it. I was reading a report that they actually were able to have $66 million more than any other team because of the TV deal and everything, and being able to include that after the mess that happened years ago. So it's just not really fair. But I also
and because revenue sharing, well, that's not a good enough percentage. It doesn't rain down over the league. I mean, it's a small percentage of money. Yeah.
Right. And, I even said it on Main Event yesterday, we need a salary cap. I'm right there with you. We also need a salary floor, and Double A's obviously adamant about that. Same with this, Rob, it appeared last night, that we need a salary floor,
have to because you're going to have a cap. Have to.
Yeah. Teams got to spend money, but they can't spend $1 bazillion and defer it to go make it happen. I mean, we joke about Bobby Bonilla in the Mets and all that, but like Shohei Ohtani is just a very good, great version of Bobby Bonilla, and the Dodgers, I think, are on the hook with him till 2039, I believe.
I don't even know anymore. I can't keep track. $1.4 billion in deferred money.
Yeah, and then you take 6 of their pitchers, and I may mess up one of them, but I believe it was Ohtani, Skubal, Snell, Glasnow, Robleski, I want to say, and maybe Yamamoto. I believe it was those 6, and I may have got one of those mixed up with the eons of pitchers they have, but they have enough pitchers to have the best rotation in the major leagues, the best rotation in AAA, and probably the best rotation in AA, to be honest with you. Right, and you take one of that 6 group, or 6-man group, that's the 18th highest payroll in baseball. Just that group alone. Just 6 players. I mean, like, that's crazy, and it's like, so that's why I think we all saw a weird MLB trade deadline where the teams, I feel like they're in it, we're going to go win it this year, and the Guardians, I guess, they put their hat on and said, we're in it this year. I know we're not in the first right now in the Central, but we feel like we can make a run and go win it this year, at least get out of the AL because of where the AL is at. But then you saw a lot of teams kind of chill or move off some contracts that they're kind of getting ahead of before the lockout. So it's a little bit of a weird MLB trade deadline, right?
It might be, yeah. I thought it would be, but yeah.
It was odd. I believe Adley Rutschman went over from Baltimore to Boston, and
wild,
people are up in arms about that. In Baltimore, they're pissed. I mean, because they just went out and got Pete Alonso this past offseason, and you thought, well, the Orioles are all in. They got Gunnar Henderson, Pete Alonso, and now Rutschman's gone. So it's just like
prospect haul for that, though. To be honest with you, I mean, it was a nice move. It was okay.
Yeah, for sure. But it just. I don't know. Baseball's in such a weird spot, man. It's like you hope that the Dodgers don't just win the World Series, but as far as any team that's going to stop them, you're going to have to be playing your best baseball for a 7-game stretch,
and you're going to have to get lucky.
Exactly, and that's after going through at least a divisional round in ALCS, maybe in a wild card for some of these teams, right? So there's a lot going on there. The Guardians, to revisit our last segment, they do have that rotation that I will argue is the best rotation in the AL. In the American League, you could say the Yankees. Yankees are definitely there. I know we like to poke fun with our Yankee fan, obviously on the network, Kyle Cornell. Mm-hmm. But, they have Schlittler. They have Garrett Cole. They have these guys that are very talented. Will Warren. They have guys that are very talented. Max Fried. Yeah, I knew you'd mention him as a former Brave. But, of course, it's either Yankees or Guardians have the best rotation in the AL. And then you could argue offense. I mean, Yankees definitely have the nod, especially when Judge comes back. But the Guardians are going to be a little feisty now on offense. So you hope that maybe a team could go run them to the brink. You look at the Blue Jays, but then, of course, and Riziki brought it up yesterday, the Blue Jays were the 5th highest payroll in baseball last year. So it wasn't like they were some underdog story. Like, yeah, it was crazy they got there because they haven't been there in a long time, but they paid to get there. George Springer, other guys they're bringing in. Of course, Ernie Clement, they acquired. Where'd Ernie Clement? Where did he go through the farm system at? Oh, here in Cleveland. But, of course, another day. They did all right today, so I'll leave them alone. But yeah, I'm just frustrated with the Dodgers, but I'm also frustrated with cheap owners because it's kind of a correlation of both. Like, yeah, you can't be mad at the Dodgers entirely because they're just doing what they can do right now under the CBA, where they can defer the money, they can go out and get these guys, they can go make these trades. Anybody can make these trades, but they're making these trades and teams are willing to do it because they know these are the guys that are going to be able to pay Tariq Skubal. In other cases, Mookie Betts getting lowballed by the Boston Red Sox. That's why he's now in a Dodgers uniform. Freddie Freeman, of course, there's some interesting stuff there, but that's why he's not a Brave anymore. There's a ton of stuff going on why the Dodgers got here, but it's also the catalyst is, one of the catalysts is Pittsburgh Pirates, the Cleveland Guardians at times. You look at some of these teams, the Reds. I mean, the Reds spend money now, but the Reds were in that category as well. Other teams,
Marlins always seem to have a promising young group of players coming up, and then all of a sudden they're jettisoned out, they're gone. Yeah,
exactly. So crazy we just said Marlins at the same time. But yeah, those teams, they've also been in that mix of why we're at where we're at in baseball. So you need a floor, you need a cap to hold both accountable. And that's where we're at. Players are going to be pissed. There's probably going to be a full year of Major League Baseball being gone. And more relevant of a discussion now. We're past the deadline. We're past the biggest move. I'm just surprised Paul Skeens wasn't moved to at this point. I mean, what else are we doing? But I don't know. I'm tired of the Dodgers to a degree, but I'm also tired of where baseball's at because of cheap owners. This is why we've got to where we're at, and we'll see. We'll see where we're at with it, Chad B. We got a lot to talk about when it comes to baseball this week. We're in the second half of the year. Obviously, we're past the All-Star break. We're in the final 2-month stretch. With the Guardians, we got an official AL Central race, and it's a three-team race. Like I said last segment, it's the White Sox who lead right now, the Guardians, and the Twins. Do not forget the Twins. Of course, they didn't make a crazy move at the deadline. They kind of stood pat for the most part.
Yeah.
But they are always feisty. Chad B's brought them up, and here they are in August. Who would have thought? Well, Chad B knew.
Yeah, well, I didn't know about the White Sox still being here, but how upset are you if you're a Brewers fan right now? By the way, they were supposedly in on Tariq Skubal. It seems like the Dodgers took less from the Tigers, or the Tigers took. I'm sorry. It seems like I just don't know. It feels like the Tigers took less back from the Dodgers for Skubal than the Brewers were offering. I don't really understand that whole deal, but I just don't know. The Brewers didn't really do much, and they did more than the Braves, honestly, and that's fine. That's great. I don't know. Again, I don't know.
It doesn't make sense.
No, I'm just thinking long term about how to fix all this, and I really like the only way, because I'm trying to brainstorm without a salary cap, but there's no way at this point that you can fix without a salary cap.
You got to do a whole new. Excuse me, interrupt. My apology, but I guess I'm brainstorming here. Maybe a new MLB draft. You get a salary cap and a salary floor, and everybody's up for grabs again. I mean, I don't know what else to do, man. Like,
yeah, I know.
It's broken, but we're gonna fix it together with Major League Baseball, and we are gonna do what we can, which is talk about it and try to find discussions that maybe Major League Baseball, maybe Ron Manfred's got his ear, of course, to the Inside Edge Network, and we can help guide through the lockout. We'll figure it out.
Even after this, it's gonna take 5 to 10 to 15 years to truly fix it, because
correct,
you got all these guys on all these deferred contracts, all this deferred money all the way down the line, and guys are signed through 2036 or 2059 or 84-22 or whatever. It's just it's baseball's backed themselves into a mess, and seemingly no one's been paying attention to this, but here it is. It's going to be in the forefront here in a couple of months.
It's like when you have like a leak in your faucet, in your kitchen faucet, and you're like, man, whatever. Well, it's just a little leak, Then you come back, a few months later, it's just a little, okay, it's starting to get a little crazy. And then you come back, you're like, okay, it's been a year, but I can get away with this faucet. And then you go and you look, and it's been 10 years, and the faucet's like flying, the water's flying at you, and it's falling up, and the faucet smacks you in the face, and now you got a shiner. That's where Major League Baseball's at.
Subfloor's gone.
Oh yeah, forget that.
And there's like 3 plumbers that can fix it.
Yep.
And guess what they're gonna do? Charge you deferred money. I don't know. It's a mess.
That or put duct tape on it. We'll figure it out. But I mean, my goodness, Chevy. We'll talk about it, of course, later on this week. Got a lot. Of course, you're back with us, and we will break down some baseball because it is that time. We'll talk about it, but we are right up against it. We got just about 10 minutes left. We're going to take a quick pause here for the cause. A few words from our partners, and when we come back, we'll spend a few minutes on the Browns. Of course, we'll talk about them later on this week. They're in pads, in training camp, quarterback battle. It's in full swing. Illegal formation. Chad Bryan and TK Dandridge, they talked about it earlier today. Chad B and I will talk just a few moments about the Cleveland Browns, about this quarterback discussion, this quarterback battle, and is there a new favorite emerging in Cleveland? All right, I joke a little bit, but maybe we'll talk about it, of course, when we come back here on Inside Edge Primetime on the Inside Edge Network. Chad B to my right, you're right, everybody's right. I'm Eli Moon. We're back right after this.
Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and, well, everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to Fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. That's Fanatics.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Small business owners are superheroes, but nowadays running your business means doing so inside your shop and on social media. That's why you should make Omega Video Marketing your sidekick.
With a decade of content creation experience, I create dynamic, informative, and fun videos for your specific social needs that will increase brand awareness, get you more followers, and keep your social pages and websites current and fresh.
I offer flexible pricing and turn times and will work with you to understand your brand and your story. All of that comes from the heart. My award-winning expertise is just the cherry on top. So let's get connected. After all, your brand is the alpha and my expertise is the omega.
Discover our collection of handcrafted candles. That's right, every product is thoughtfully created in small batches free from harmful toxins for mindful everyday indulgence. Our candles are hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks, offering a long-lasting burn and rich fragrances. Create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home with candles from Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network. Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Mosser and his wife Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MosserMomentsPhotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. MosserMomentsPhotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
And welcome back to Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad Bryan to my right, you're right, everybody's right. I'm Eli Moon. We're back in the saddle, on the saddle, saddle adjacent. We are back in full strength here on the evening lineup. Talked to some Guardians. They made some moves today. The Dodgers, well, they made some moves too. What's new? And Major League Baseball is in a whole conundrum, but we have some more baseball to play the next couple of months. And we just have a few moments left here with you. Of course, you've been with us all night long, all day long, all week long since September. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow Inside Edge Net if you haven't already on all the socials, YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. Smash that notification bell. Know we're going live across all the socials. Of course, InsideEdgeNetwork.com is where you're going to want to read about all your favorite personalities. Go check out our partners page. And Chris and the Knights from the merchandise store. Rep Cleveland's digital leader, your source for sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, news, and everything in between. And download the Inside Edge Network app on Roku. Take us wherever you want to go on Roku with the Inside Edge Network app. Yes, a lot of great stuff here. All right, Chad B, got a few minutes left. I'm going to give you the floor because you've been gone for a week. I know you talked about some Browns stuff on illegal formation. I'm just going to ask you a question. Yeah. Right now, I want it to be Shedeur. But obviously everybody works against Shedeur. I still think it will be Shedeur that also is the starter of this team this year. but I'm going to give you a hypothetical.
Okay.
Let's take Shedeur Sanders out of the equation for a moment.
Okay.
Not because I want to, but because the rest of the world wants to.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Okay.
If you're a Browns fan, which you are,
I am.
would you rather watch Deshaun Watson as your starting quarterback or Dylan Gabriel as your starting quarterback this upcoming season?
Is there like a traffic cone or something we could just maybe like the center could just turn around and put the ball on top of the traffic cone, and then the running backs could just take the ball as they like. We don't need a passing game, right? We wouldn't have one, first of all, if it comes down to those two. Oh wow, Dylan Gabriel?
Okay.
It's not about skill. I don't care. Deshaun. Well, listen, you can make it about skill. Deshaun Watson hasn't done anything meaningful on a football field in 6 seasons.
Yeah.
Save for like 2.5 pretty okay quarters against Baltimore in 2024.
Yeah.
Was that 2024? 2023?
Yeah.
1982? I don't remember.
Yeah.
It didn't stick with me. It didn't make an impression on me, really. I don't know. Yeah, I guess Dylan Gabriel. If my choice is between those two, it makes it the hard choice makes it seem like I have something personal against that. I don't. He just wasn't a very good quarterback, I didn't think. As far as NFL, offenses go, maybe it was the Stefanski handcuffs. I don't know. Maybe he would be better in a different offense. Maybe, you get him out and you let him play to his strength and let him get outside the pocket a little bit and create. Maybe he's a little better. But I think the arm strength is an issue with him. So but yeah, if I have my choice between Deshaun Watson and Dylan Gabriel, I'm choosing Dylan Gabriel. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. It's just,
dude. I mean, it's a mess, and
But that highlights how much I really want Shedeur Sanders to be the starter. I think I really believe that right now. Yes, he's got a long, long, long way to go, but he's head and shoulders above those two.
Right. No, and I've seen reports of Dylan Gabriel's look like the most improved quarterback, the best quarterback. Now, let's keep in mind that he also is playing against the second and third stringers, most times third stringers. So
but also with second and third stringers, so there's that.
Correct. Yeah. But he also thrown a third of the passes that Shedeur and Watson have thrown. He's also less touchdowns than Shedeur in training camp if you follow that tracker. And then, of course, you have the interceptions as well. So, I mean, you got to play take all that into account. Of course, head coach Todd Monken spoke to the media earlier today. Guys, the players were in pads here at training camp. The Browns were rocking in pads. It's closer to being real here in real football very, very soon. But, Todd Monken said if Dylan Gabriel keeps performing, he'll get more reps. And then we'll kind of get an idea of what he looks like with the first team, at least see what it looks like, or, second team, something. But I'm at the point now where I'm ready for Shedeur Sanders to be the guy. I've been ready for Shedeur Sanders to be the guy. He needs an opportunity because the worst thing that happens is you find out he's not the guy and you move on to the 2027 NFL draft class. You look, whether it's Dante Moore, who I think is the best quarterback in that class. I still stand on that. I think it's crazy that the guy who was second in the Heisman voting last year, or a Heisman finalist, literally tore it up at Oregon, helped win them football games, looked better than Arch Manning. And if he didn't have the Manning last name, we wouldn't be talking about Arch Manning this highly right now going into the season. I still stand on that as well. But Dante Moore or maybe Manning or, CJ Carr, there's guys out there, obviously. But you find out one way or the other who's going to be starting in 2027 because it's not Deshaun Watson. They're more than likely cutting ties with him next summer. And that's where we're
June
at.
27th, whatever the day is. Yeah, the day that that's it. That's the day. That has to be the day. I'm not that high on Arch Manning, or I don't know. I want to watch the college season play out first because we're always doing it. Like this time last year, we talked about a lot of Lenora Sellers. He's a can't miss prospect out of South Carolina. He had a terrible year. In relation,
give Lenora Sellers a break, buddy.
I'd love to give Lenora Sellers a break. He's got to give himself a break first. He's got to he's got to learn the offense. But I want to let the college season play out first. I want to see who's still standing at the end of the year. I don't care about completion percentage or touchdowns and interceptions. I want to watch these guys play. I want to really watch how they play. Here's the thing. When Bo Nix was at Oregon, I was impressed. I said, I like the way Bo Nix operates in the red zone. I like the way he operates on third down. I think he's going to be a good NFL quarterback. I thought he was the best quarterback in that draft class. So far, he's played very, very well. Broncos fans still don't like him. So I mean, it's hard to be a quarterback, man. But let me just let me see the college season play out. I'm not going to jump on the hype train right now. Arch Manning, anybody, I don't care who it is. I was watching him play 12, 13, 14 games. And then we can try to assess them at some point, but it's really hard to assess quarterbacks. It's really tough.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. And the beautiful thing about it is we've got a lot of practice with assessing quarterbacks. Not always greatly, but we've done it.
42 of them since they came back, man.
Yeah,
hey,
absolutely. That's right. Yeah, well, rent's due, and we ain't got it. Top of the hour, we ain't got it. Well, maybe you found it during vacation, but it's sure not. All right. No. Cool. Good talk. All right, that's gonna do it for Chad B and I. This is Inside Edge Primetime. This has been Inside Edge Primetime. We are. We'll make a programming note, and I'll let you leave it up to AA. But there will be a programming note later on, I'd imagine tonight at Midnight Run. You'll see the announcement that we with the shows. AA and I will be off tomorrow. AA's giving me a funny face. AA, why don't you come on? We don't bring you on until midnight. We're gonna bring you on before Autumn because look, Autumn, she has to explain the chat. Actually, I want to bring them both on. You know what? This is perfect. I want to bring them both on. Yeah, because you haven't heard about PNG yet. Perfect. Let's bring.
Wait, Autumn said no. Autumn said no.
It's okay. Well, Autumn doesn't get to decide because this is prime time, so technically, AA Anthony Alford and Autumn Chisholm, of course. Hey guys, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Chad? Welcome back.
Hey, it's good to be back. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, no problem. I guess I have a. It's not a groundbreaking program.
It's not. I made it sound like
it's not. It's not a ground. We have
giant news.
Eli and I, we have a sales meeting tomorrow night,
yes.
So we can't do the show at the same time. So from 10 to midnight is Chad and Autumn. You guys figure out what the hell you're doing tomorrow.
Exactly. Just don't burn the place down.
Oh, wait, that's me. Yeah, we'll be okay.
Yes.
That's it. That was the announcement.
Perfect. Thank you. That's all we need from
the Inside Edge Network. We'll figure out what the hell we're doing. That's big announcement.
Love it. And then I will leave this up to you guys tomorrow because of course AA and I will be off, and then we're disappearing. We'll be gone. Leave it to you guys. I'll be back at midnight. But Autumn, you have to talk to Chad tomorrow.
Yes, I will explain to Chad what happened tomorrow.
Okay.
I will explain.
Perfect. That's all we ask.
I'm looking forward to it. I go away for a week. I come back. And there's okay. All right,
progress. Look, the Guardians have improved their roster.
There's too much happening. Just know that there's way too much happening.
A lot happening.
I mean, even since the last episode, I'm assuming a lot has happened.
Yeah.
Even since.
Oh no.
It's going to leave a formation in now.
I guess we didn't do a weekend check-in.
No weekend check-in. I just look, y'all. I've had a weekend. Just let y'all know.
All right, fair. Well,
weekend of lore was had by Autumn Chisholm. That's fine.
We can't wait to hear about it, Autumn. And we're going to hand the floor off to you. We are just a few minutes over. AA Anthony Alford joining Autumn Chisholm, the Daily Spiral, coming up right after station identification and one of the coolest intros across the entire universe. Chad, Bryan, and I back with you Wednesday. Chad with you tomorrow. And yeah, you get the point. All right, Daily Spiral coming up right after this. I'll see you guys behind the board for Midnight Run later on.
into the Daily Spiral, everyone. AA, how are you?
I'm not gonna hold you. I am. I wish there was like 10 of me right now, just to be able to do different things, because there's just not enough time in the day to get things accomplished, get things done. But that's okay. It's okay. I'm glad. One of the things I wanted to do was see Spider-Man. I'm not, I gotta wait. That's okay. Apparently, according to box office, the rest of America saw it.
Mhm.
There's more to come there, but no, it's been busy. The Guardians got better today, so that's good. And yeah, it's been a good day. It's been a good day.
It's been a weekend for me. Let's just say that it's been a weekend.
It's been a day. It's been a day for me. So I understand. I get it.
It's been a long 3 days for me, but I did go see Spider-Man this weekend. I am a first weekend warrior when it comes to movies. I will say that. Where do you want to start? You want to start with what's going on with MLB? Do you want to start with Spider-Man? Where do you want to start?
I hate this question.
So bad.
No. Because even in restaurants, I'm indecisive. Like if we're again, Eli and I, we're gonna be at the sales meeting tomorrow.
Oh my God, you're gonna be.
We're gonna be at the sales meeting. It's gonna take me forever to order food just because I'm not gonna be paying attention. You know what? Let's switch up the pace. Let's start with Spider-Man.
Okay. Spider-Man Brand New Day, based off of a crazy plot in the comics and the Brand New Day comics. It is the first Spider-Man trilogy to get a fourth movie. No other Spider-Man trilogy or supposed trilogy has gotten a fourth movie. They've all either stopped at 2 or the third one, which is so horrifically bad that they're like, yeah, we can't do this anymore. And we gotta reboot it. Tom Holland Spider-Man, the fourth one. So let me give you some breakdown of this weekend. So the budget was $225 million. How much do you think it has already made?
I can't get. I'm looking at the answer.
$942 million.
Yeah.
So it's gonna pass the $1 billion mark this weekend, which is crazy to say that it's like weekend one. Weekend one is gonna pass $1 billion. So it is the biggest opening since Avengers Endgame. It is the second biggest opening after I think it's just know it's one of the biggest openings. One of the biggest openings of all time.
Yeah.
And it's shattered any Avengers Avatar record you could think of. Yeah, it shattered it completely. But the film was directed by Destin and Daniel Cretton. Do you know what other Marvel film he has directed?
I do not, but when you tell me, it's not going to be surprising.
He directed Shang-Chi.
What? What did he do?
He directed Shang-Chi, the movie, the Marvel movie with Simu Liu.
Okay. I did not know that. As you can tell, I did not know that.
So originally he was not the director. Originally the Fantastic Four director, who was the original director of the first three, was still attached.
Okay.
But then he moved on to Fantastic Four, and then they brought in Destin, and he has killed it. So, do you want to be spoiled?
Yeah, I you know what? Let's give a viewer's discretion before you get into this. If you have not watched, my rule is if you haven't watched within like the weekend, I don't think you could run from spoilers. That's just me. I don't think you could run from it. I think it's time to talk about it. I'm cool with it. You go right on ahead.
Yes. So this run. So okay, this movie pulls from several different runs of Spider-Man. So of course, it's named after the original 2008 run called Brand New Day, which is Spider-Man post Superhuman Registration Act. People have forgotten who he is. His marriage to MJ has been wiped out. Essentially, he's a whole brand new person in the storyline. It also pulls from this very interesting story from Spider-Man where he turns into this thing called Man Spider. You know what Man Spider is?
I do not know.
So Peter goes through this sort of metamorphosis that spiders go through. And he wakes up in a cocoon. His eyes turn black. there's a whole bunch of stuff that and he literally turns into a mutated man spider in the comics.
Yeah, okay.
So it pulls from both of those. So
my uncle would be very disappointed in me for not knowing that. That's hilarious. So he would be very disappointed at me.
Oh my God. So movie starts 4 years following. Well, it literally picks up right after the ends of Spider-Man No Way Home.
Literally. Now, real quick, did you watch this by yourself or did you watch with your brother? Or
I was in a movie theater super late at night, trying to keep my eyes open, being like, okay, I've had a long day. Let's watch this movie. And I was glued.
Okay. See, my fear, I can't do, maybe in a future relationship, you know, a future significant other will force me to go to a midnight premiere or something like for me, it's too risky.
9 o'clock was pushing it for me. 9 o'clock was pushing it.
Okay, all right. Okay.
9 o'clock was pushing it.
All right.
I am no longer I am no longer a midnight movie warrior. It has to be 6 p.m. or 6:30 to 7 at the earliest. The latest is 9 o'clock.
Like, the latest I could do is, hell, the way my body operates now, maybe I can't pull a midnighter now. But no, like I told you, and maybe the audience doesn't know, but I told you, my friend, the first Avengers movie back in 2012.
You literally fell asleep.
It was the midnight premiere. I didn't have a say in it. We sat in the, we got the last seats in the theater in BG. We sat, it might have been out there like Mommy or Perrysburg or somewhere out there.
Wait, you didn't go to the Small? Because the Small had a Cinemark movie theater.
No, not this time. No, we went to I don't even think probably by the time you went to BG, the little mall there.
Oh, you talking about? No. The Small was definitely still a thing when I was there.
Okay, yeah, that's probably where we were at. But it was like a beat down movie theater, a beat down mall.
You went to Small, yeah.
Yeah, it was beat down. Like I thought it was done before I left. Apparently, it was still open.
Oh no,
but we sat in the last seats that were available was the very front row, which means you're sitting there at the theater. The screen's right here, and you're looking. Oh, okay, I'm locked into the movie, and I was good like 20 minutes in, and then I got one of these. I got one of those, like right in the gut.
I want to explain something to y'all. So the Small, okay, so in Bowling Green, there was a mall. It used to be a mall, but the only part that was open was the back half of it, right?
Yes.
Food court, a couple stores. I think a dance studio, and then it was the movie theater, right?
Yeah. Yes.
The movie theater, it was so small and it was so beat up and it was one of those movie theaters. It was cheap. Let me tell you right now, anytime I went to a movie there, I paid less than $10.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
When I'm telling you, he literally probably was. The chairs were terrible. You had to lean all the way. I fully understand. I get you.
I had to lean like all the way back just to see. Like my eyesight was looking at their feet, so I had to like really like look up like this.
And I used to sit in the middle back, right? So if you're sitting at the front,
I'll never do it again. I'll never do that again. If the and we'll get back to Spider-Man in 2 seconds. If the room is full and it's like, oh, there's 4 seats left, and it's in the front row, that's okay. I'll wait.
Yeah,
that's okay.
I
never again.
That movie theater, and also it was like not even like if you think about the Cinemark in Valley View, it's like the Small is as big as when you go in the front of the box office and the entire front area. Yep. That's how big it is. It's not very big at all. The entire front area is oh my God.
I think the last movie I saw at that theater at the Small was The Avengers. I think that was the last one. I've seen a few movies up to that point there, but like the Avengers was the last one, and then we upgraded and like, oh, we want to actually go to the movies. We'll go to Perrysburg. We'll go to Perrysburg.
The one in Perrysburg reminds me of Bellevue. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So again, backstory is pulling from Brand New Day. Picks up literally immediately after Doctor Strange's spell. Then we see Peter becoming Spider-Man over the next 4 years. We see him sort of keeping track of what Ned and MJ are doing. But he's really just focused in on being Spider-Man. So everything goes a little crazy when I don't think do you remember him from the first movie? He was a villain named Scorpion.
Oh, yes.
Yes, so everything goes crazy when Scorpion is due to be moved to a different building. So also the Department of Damage Control, which is one of the most evil corporations in Marvel Comics, it comes to play. So he's supposed to be moved to a high max facility for damage control, and everything goes like crazy. Peter's trying to stop a tank that's run by somebody that he doesn't know, and he can clearly tell that the person in the tank, who's a old white lady, is not who she says he is. Then he realizes that it's a telepath who can body hop to different people. So he's trying to figure out who this telepath is and how they're body hopping. And eventually the telepath gets away. So so he then goes to Black Widow, Yelena Belova, and says, hey, the person who has been attacking, because this is also like the fourth attack of the DODC. He's like, hey, what are they looking for? She's like, whatever it is, they keep searching for this thing called VMAX, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Peter's still going through some stuff. He's starting to get headaches. He's starting to like be super, like everything's super heightened. And then he encounters Ned in a corner store. He goes to Ned and MJ's housewarming party, sees that MJ has a boyfriend, completely crashes out, and fully mutates.
As he should have.
He's like trying to figure out like what's going on, because he now makes organic webs. He doesn't have his web shooter. So you know how Toby's Spider-Man made webs? That's how he makes webs. And then he then is like, something has to give. So he then tracks down he is about to go to see Bruce Banner, but the telepath keeps messing with him. And he's trying to figure out who the telepath is. And the telepath is just like getting in his head, but can't get in his head because Peter is strong enough to sense them, right? Before his transformation. After his transformation, he can't sense the telepath. And the telepath was like, you really can't like sense me? And it's a whole crazy scene. I can't even like describe it, because you like when you see it in the movie theater, you're gonna be like, whoa, this is crazy. They did it really well. So then he goes to see Banner, finds out that Banner actually has like an inhibitor that keeps the Hulk at bay. And he's like, okay, so if I was to create one of these, do you think like it'll help me? He was like, yeah, essentially. Banner kind of is like, you're not a student, right? He's like, not really. He was like, I'm a grad. Now, also at the same time, Punisher from Daredevil, he's also in the movie, but that's like a canonic thing where Punisher and Spider-Man like do stuff together. So Punisher is helping Spider-Man. And
by the way, if you had no idea the backstory of why a character named Punisher is in a movie and Spider-Man's doing some things like that, that's not good. that's interesting.
So eventually the telepath gets into Peter's house, finds Peter's letters, and then is about to attack MJ. So Peter goes to see MJ, saves MJ, takes her to Punisher's house. So he thinks. So he takes MJ to a safe place. The telepath is in Peter's apartment and gets into MJ's head. And it's a whole scene. It's a whole scene, right? So Peter eventually is like, look, I'm trying to create this inhibitor. I need to create one for myself and one for the telepath to eventually like get her, right? Because also he figures out who the telepath is.
Mm-hmm.
You know who the telepath is, Double A?
I do not remember. I'm sorry.
Who is the most famous telepath in all of Marvel Comics outside of Professor X?
I feel ill-suited to like this. The dumbest moment of my career here at the Inside Edge Network right now. I am drawing a complete blank.
Guys, Double A is not a true fan. He's not a believer. Have you never watched an X-Men movie? Who is the most powerful X-Men outside of Professor X and Magneto? There's only one.
What? We're not talking Wolverine here?
No, she has had multiple movies. She has had multiple movies show that if she lets go of her power, she's insane.
I don't know. I'm still in SummerSlam mode. I don't know. I don't remember.
Jean Grey.
Okay. Stingray. Yes.
Jean Grey.
Yes.
We find out that the telepath is Jean Grey. Jean, who sometimes goes by Dark Phoenix, but Jean is who the telepath is. We find out that Jean's sister was captured by the DODC and that she is trying to figure out what happened to her sister and where she's gone. So that's a whole nother plot. I cannot spoil that part for you.
No, do not. No.
And that's where I leave you because everything else I say after this is going to be a spoiler.
All right. So, what is I don't want to say what did you think overall of the movie, but did you like what you see?
Yes,
did you like the movie?
When I said, I literally turned to my brother. I was like, he has to play Spider-Man for the rest of his life. Like, he can't play anything else. He has to. Like, he's that good in it. He has, like, such a grasp over the character that he's even better than Tobey Maguire. Tobey had a real grasp over that character.
Because when I heard, like, because I watched Tobey Maguire, like, I watched his 3 Spider-Man movies. Like, that was, I watched him play Peter Parker. And I loved the way he played Peter Parker. So to see anybody top, not just Spider-Man, but but Peter Parker just to top that role, like that's huge.
Like he really dug into this role to where I was like, yo, like I've never seen someone play Spider-Man like this, like ever.
You gotta have your brother on this show.
Yeah, we'll have to.
You gotta get your brother on the show.
We'll have to do that on a weekend where he's not exhausted from trying to be a cop. We'll have to have him on a Friday show.
Try to protect the city.
Yeah, he's trying to protect the city. When we come back, we're gonna go to break. When we come back, we are going to talk about what the hell is going on in Major League Baseball. Because what's going on? What's going on, Double A? What is going on? There's too much happening in Major League Baseball. We have to talk about it. And then at the end of the show, we will get into fall camp baskets. I will explain what they are. You're going to be real disappointed. But
I don't even know what it is.
You're going to be real disappointed when I explain. But you guys are watching this here on Inside Edge Network. We will be right back.
Key On Sports is the leader in Ohio high school athletic coverage in written, print, and video streaming. From the latest news and results and written content to the high school football game of the week every Friday, Key On Sports has you covered. The vision of 15-time published author Vince McKee has become the most trusted site in Ohio high school athletic news. From podcasts to player profiles, Key On Sports is your one-stop for all of it. Visit them today at keyonsports.com or on YouTube at Key On Sports. Check out their socials on Twitter and Facebook as well.
Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Discover our collection of body mists made with clean, minimal ingredients. Handcrafted with natural essential oils and clean ingredients, they offer a natural alternative to synthetic fragrances. Perfect for sensitive skin and those seeking clean, mindful self-care, and the perfect gift for you or your special someone. Courtesy of Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers, use that promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at SportsMemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the SportsMemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to SportsMemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. SportsMemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com.
Hey, make sure that guy's not texting you right now.
No, that's not what I'm looking at. I'm literally looking at. Woo! Yeah, stop that. And it makes what? Why? You know what? This is like the third trade I've seen in professional sports where a player has gotten traded for a bag of Skittles. This is the second time. No. Okay. Let me explain why I said what is going on with Major League Baseball. Let's talk about Tarek Skubal. Tarek Skubal. So if you don't know who Tarek Skubal is, Tarek Skubal was the Tigers ace. He was the most feared man in the AL Central. If you saw him come up to the pitcher's mound, you knew that he was going to get you out.
Yeah, every Guardians fan's worst nightmare, Scooble. Man.
Up until midpoint last season, well, not midpoint, up until, I'm going to say the playoffs last season. Because finally, he got in the playoffs. Finally, we got him.
Yeah.
We got him. And then he went down with injury. And then he came back this year, midway point, and he pitched very well. And then last week, he had his final start for the Tigers, something that he knew. And we were all like, where is he going to go? Where is he going to go? What is he going to do? Where is he going to go? And he, of course, goes to the West Coast version of the Evil Empire in the Los Angeles Dodgers. Not only does he go to the Dodgers, but he goes for virtually nothing.
You know what's funny? I was reading that The Athletic had the ratings of all the trades. the Athletic, the staff of the Athletic, they gave the Dodgers an A+ for pulling the trade off. They gave the Detroit Tigers an A. They gave them an A. I guess with the prospects that they have coming back, they still have a future and stuff. I mean, it surprised me, but the athletic staff gave the Tigers an A. But on the base surface, it ain't pretty. I mean, to look at, we talked Autumn, I think yesterday and throughout the day, Eli and Chad talked about it. It's like those guys, they have deferred contracts too. So like, you don't even have to pay, like really, really pay some of those guys like Ohtani and others until like the late 2030s into the 2040s.
And this is where I'm going to get on baseball. But no, yeah, so this is what Tariq Schoolboy got. Again, a Cy Young award-winning pitcher. You got 3 prospects and no picks, no cash, nothing. You got Zaire Hope, River Ryan, and Brady Smith. What the hell why does this keep okay. All right.
And why do they get away with it? Why do the Dodgers get away with it?
It's not even just the Dodgers. I genuinely blame the Houston Astros for this. The Houston Astros, all they had to do was not take that damn Sports Illustrated story in 2014 seriously. If they didn't do that, they wouldn't have cheated in 2017. The Dodgers wouldn't have felt cheated, and they wouldn't have made it their life's mission to go get every single person they could possibly get after that year.
I didn't realize it ran that deep.
Mm-hmm. Really think about this.
Elaborate on that.
If the Astros don't cheat in 2017, the Dodgers probably win the World Series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Right? The Astros probably don't even make it to the World Series. I'm honestly thinking about that because the Guardians were the best team coming into that season because they were the defending AL champs. They had the 22-game win streak. They probably were going to be the odds-on favorites. They literally just like ran out of gas. But the Houston Astros openly cheated. The cheating was so blatant that people went back and looked up the games that they were cheating in.
Now it's all coming to play here. So that damn trash can, those trash cans is the reason why the Dodgers are who they are and why baseball is broken.
Yes, think about this. I gotta take my glasses.
I gotta go
for this one.
So it's Waste Management's fault and other trash companies.
Well, it's AJ Hinch.
It's not Waste Management, but you get my drift here.
It's AJ Hinch and whoever that who was the general manager at that time? I forgot what his name was, right? Because they put that damn flat screen in the middle of the hallway dugout.
Yes.
They were beating on that damn trash can. They win in 2017 over the Dodgers. The Dodgers didn't get a chance to get back to the World Series until they went back to the World Series in 2018. But even then, that 2018 team, for the Red Sox, they cheated too.
Yeah, they lost to the Red Sox. Mm-hmm.
Then 2019, they don't even get there because the Nationals get there, and the Nationals win over the Astros. Which every time I think about that, I'm like, damn, the Nationals really did beat the Astros in the World Series. In which, at one point, the Nationals were the worst team in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it happened quick. I mean, it was the turnaround was quick. I mean, the closest thing I think was the Kansas City Royals. Like I remember my whole childhood. Kansas City was horrible. And then,
but even then, the 2015 team wasn't that bad because the season before they had already made I can go into that one, but
right.
The Dodgers come back the 2020 COVID season and they're on a warpath because they find out that the Astros cheated. So they felt as though they were cheated out of a World Series, right? So then they win the World Series in 2020 and then they come back in 2021 where you could finally have games and not like when I think about this, I'm like, the Dodgers have literally became the evil empire because of the Astros, right? Like, that's literally what happened. All the Astros had to do was not cheat, and we would have been fine, and it would have been fair.
Well, Yes, but also let's hold everybody accountable for that time. Rob Manfred, it'll never go away from his record, not punishing that
Yes,
team.
because he was scared of the players union, because he was in the meetings with A-Rod when they suspended A-Rod for 2 full years, and then A-Rod got it down to half a season. So because he thought that the players union was going to appeal their suspensions, all he wanted them to do was just tell the truth, and he wouldn't suspend them. Oh, it is when I tell you, Rob, like that's one of the reasons why I hate Rob Manfred. Like,
yeah, and I think, and I'll be honest too, Autumn, I do believe that if it wasn't for COVID, like the real life stuff of COVID, where real life things was going on, I do think he would get more heat on the lack of action that he took against the Houston Astros. Like once COVID hit, I think a lot of fans kind of moved on from it, but that is on his record.
No,
like that happened.
Like he literally, like every time I think about it, I'm like, he straight up told them, yeah, just tell me what you did. We won't suspend you. I just need to know the truth. Because you didn't want to go against the players union, because Major League Baseball had the strongest players union because of the whole A-Rod thing. The A-Rod thing was PEDs. That's something that you could or could not prove. This was something that we had visual proof of, and if you were suspended them, they would have appealed it, but you had a strong case to hold up that appeal.
You did.
You had the strongest case possible, and instead of just punishing them, now you create a whole culture where people think that it's okay to cheat. Because why you think all these players have been betting? Because you set a standard right there with the Astros. Oh, you're not gonna get in trouble. The Astros cheated. Like it's so much. But there's one other thing I'm gonna blame. Okay, besides the Astros, and that is Major League Baseball's terrible contracts. I'm trying to see how much time I have. I literally cannot see without my glasses. I'm dead serious. I can't see without my
glasses.
Can
put your glasses back on.
No, they're starting to hurt behind my ears.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
I didn't mean
really
it. Hold up. I want to be clear too, because I just thought about what I said that I don't know if you remember when Skip Bayless told Shannon Sharp to put his glasses back on. I didn't mean it was like that level of disrespect. I just want to make that clear.
I literally did this to see.
I just wanted to make that clear. Like, I did not mean it that way.
I had to put my face as close as possible to my computer.
Hold on.
Okay, that's not what happened. Okay,
it's like, put your glasses back on. Like, oh my.
No, so the other reason that I blame what's happening in Major League Baseball is these stupid contracts. Major League Baseball contracts are the dumbest contracts in all of sports. You cannot tell me that, like, I know people are like, like, I don't want to, no. They need to fix the contracts. If a player can sign a developmental contract, and you be under that developmental contract for almost 10 years, and then when they finally bring you up, you still have another 4 years of contract, and then when you finally become a free agent, you're like in your mid-30s. These contracts are stupid, and that's why all these teams are like, I can just grab whoever I want and have no consequences, because you're making the contract situation so dumb. Oh my God, I can go in on Major League Baseball contracts. I hate them so much.
Oh, it's terrible. And like, how do you tell Bryce Harper, who's ignorant in every way, shape, or form, hey, this is bad for the sport? Well, it's good for me, so shut the hell up. Like,
a 13-year contract for a dude who was 28 years old was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. And I know some people are like, the players want to get their money. The players want to get their money. I know they want to get their money. Okay, I am never anti-athletes getting paid. They do a lot more than what people see. What I don't like that Major League Baseball does is that by the time they get to that stupid contract, it's like they're past their prime. Why am I giving someone past their prime a 13-year contract? Like, think about this. Him and Manny Machado both got those crazy contracts. What have they done?
Well, and honestly, you blame that on ownership.
Garrett Cole, stupid contract. What has he done? Jacob DeGrom, stupid contract. Anytime I have never seen a Major League Baseball contract like work, like one of those. Every single contract that has happened, either the guy gets hurt, they retire before the contract ends, so that team is stuck paying. Look, the Mets are still paying Bobby Bonilla till this day.
Unbelievable.
Bobby Bonilla Day is a thing because of the stupid contracts, right?
Yeah. And they've made other mistakes too. You know, Juan Soto and stuff, and the Mets are, they were in sell mode.
Yeah.
They're 20 games under 500 right now.
Yeah, I mean, they signed Francisco Lindor to that stupid contract. They signed Max Scherzer to that stupid contract. They signed Juan Soto to the stupid contracts. I'm going to name them before we go to Alex Rodriguez, dumb contract. Mark Teixeira, dumb contract. CC Sabathia, stupid contract. Nick Swisher, Michael Bourne, Edwin Encarnacion, Bryce Harper, Adrian Gonzalez, Carl Crawford, David Price. I could go down the list of these stupid ass contracts. And I know people are going to be like, well, what does that have to do with trades? I don't know if you know this, but most of these players got traded in their contract years.
Do you just, blame the Dodgers?
No, I blame Major League Baseball. I blame the Players Union. I blame Major League Baseball's union. I blame everybody because the Players Union are the ones that negotiate the contracts. Because honestly, if I'm a player, I want better contracts in minor leagues. I want them to overhaul the minor leagues because the minor league system is literally taking advantage of these people.
That's a great point.
Major League Baseball is the only sport where you have to relearn how to play the sport. Think about it. When you are drafted, you have to relearn how to play baseball.
And most times when you're drafted, you still got to go back to college. You still got to, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and you or Eli off screen can correct me if I'm wrong, our draft pick this year, our first round draft pick, did he not sign with us? Did he turn our second round set? He turned us down.
Yeah, because
crazy. That's crazy.
I think Houston's first round draft pick in 2017, his name was Brady Aiken. The Guardians ended up picking him up a couple years later. And turned him down because he was in high school. So you could do that. Major League Baseball is the only sport where you get drafted, you get put in the minor league system, and you have to relearn how to play an entire sport. Basketball, you go straight to the court. Football, you go straight to the court. Hockey, you can either go straight to the court or go to one of the minor league systems. Baseball is the only one that requires you to go to the minor leagues. Even if you're elite, you still have to spend a decent amount of time in the minor league system before you can get it. Like, Bazana was in the minor leagues for 2-3 years?
I believe so.
DeLauder was in the minor leagues for 2-3 years. Most everybody on the team has been in the minor leagues for years.
And for years. And us two and Eli, we covered Lake County Captains baseball. And a lot of times the players we saw back in 2018 and 2019 with the Captains, finally in 2024, 25, 26, they're getting an opportunity to play at the big level, at the top level.
Has been traded 3 times, and he was the Guardians' top prospect at one point. He's been traded 3 times.
Yeah, and it goes to show you, it's not. But I will thinking about this overnight and having conversations and stuff. This entire system needs to be overhauled. But I blame the Dodgers for taking full advantage of the system. Yeah. I also blame the small market team. I think the Pittsburgh Pirates are as equally to blame as the Los Angeles Dodgers.
No, for real. Look, we are a small market team. Cleveland is a small market team, right? We may do with what we've had, right? That's been the biggest complaint is why don't they spend? Why don't they spend? I understand why they don't spend. I actually understand why they don't get out go after the big contract. Remember last time they did that? They didn't go anywhere. They did the Michael Bourne, Nick Swisher, 4 years, $50 million contract for both of them, right? We made the playoffs one time, and then halfway through their contracts, we traded them, right? And everybody's like, that was so stupid. That was so dumb. So if I see that, if I'm in the front office, is like, why would I do that again, right?
But
why would
you do want at least you do want, like today. Today was a great day for the Cleveland Guardians. Great day for the Cleveland Guardians.
2017. It says 2016 when they went after Andrew Miller. That was the most proud of them I've ever been.
Yeah, like today is a great day for the Guardians. But most years, at the deadline, nothing. And Edwin Encarnacion, that World Series, that was part of it. There, but 10 years, right? So you have that, but Cleveland and Tampa, those two teams in the small market conversation.
Well,
a lot of people point to us and Tampa as the two teams that kind of bucked the trend. And it's like, oh, small markets can't compete. But I look at, can you imagine, Autumn, living, not for the football team, but living in Pittsburgh?
I know Pittsburgh, every time they see Garrett Cole, they just fill themselves with rage because they really traded him to the Astros, and he really was an important part of that team for a while. And then he went to the Yankees and has been an important part of the Yankees.
And then the worst part, the Pirates are kind of like the Browns from this standpoint. They're finally now they're starting to turn things around, having winning record. The problem is they're in the NL Central. So, Milwaukee's in there. The Cubs are in there too. So, you have better teams in the division, even though they're in there in the wild card. It's kind of like the Browns, those years ago, 2020, we finally have a great season. We have 10 wins and we're still in third place in the division.
Well, yeah, I would say them and Miami to me are the two small market teams where every time they do something, I'm like Cleveland and Tampa do get lumped in because they are, or the Athletics. All of us kind of get lumped in because of what happens. We're gonna go a quick break. When we come back from the break, we're gonna continue this conversation. We'll get to
because the Marlins. There's a point I want to make when we come back about the Marlins over time because they're also part of the problem too.
We'll be back.
Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and, everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. That's fanatics.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Small business owners are superheroes, but nowadays running your business means doing so inside your shop and on social media. That's why you should make Omega Video Marketing your sidekick.
With a decade of content creation experience, I create dynamic, informative, and fun videos for your specific social needs that will increase brand awareness, get you more followers, and keep your social pages and websites current and fresh.
I offer flexible pricing and turn times and will work with you to understand your brand and your story. All of that comes from the heart. My award-winning expertise is just the cherry on top. So let's get connected. After all, your brand is the alpha and my expertise is the omega.
Discover our collection of handcrafted candles. That's right, every product is thoughtfully created in small batches free from harmful toxins for mindful everyday indulgence. Our candles are hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks, offering a long-lasting burn and rich fragrances. Create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home with candles from Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network. Moser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Moser and his wife Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MoserMomentsPhotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. MoserMomentsPhotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Welcome back to the Inside Edge Network here. And I was going to get to fall camp baskets. Next time few things about fall camp baskets and just how ridiculous they are. But I want to continue this conversation about Major League Baseball because I do think that Major League Baseball has to fix something. The Dodgers, when I say they have taken full control of what you can do, they have a lucrative TV deal, so that's how they're able to pay everybody. Then you have the fact that they have deferred these contracts. The Ohtani contract deferred. I think the Yamamoto contract is deferred as well. You're also signing the international players. I don't know if you know this, but international players, when you sign them, there's a little bit of advantage there. So you have that. Then you have the acquisitions through trades, like Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts was a trade. Now Tarek Skubal, trade. So you have this advantage that I'm like, people are like, what are they doing? What are they doing? They're taking advantage of the fact that Major League Baseball doesn't care.
And you know what? And I think two things can be true. I'm allowed to hate them. And I do. But I'm also allowed to admit that you got an organization that is taking full advantage of Major League Baseball. And honestly, they're taking advantage of bad teams, and teams that are not spending money on certain players that could spend the money. And I heard Bob Costas. We might get this clip in for the midnight show next hour. But I heard Bob Costas talk about this. He's like, I understand the Dodgers. I understand how you're feeling about the Dodgers. We're not here to defend the Dodgers, but if Team A decides not to pay a certain player, Dodgers are like, come here, we'll pay you. If Team B decides not to pay, for a player, Dodgers are saying, we'll pay you. We got you. We have advantages. We have resources and stuff, but we'll pay you. They don't want to pay you, we'll pay you. So I for a while, I was all in on, I can't stand the Dodgers. I hate the Dodgers, and I will continue to hate watch the Dodgers. I have no problem hate watching the Dodgers, but I can equally blame the bad teams, the teams that refuse to spend a dime on allowing this monster to grow in Los Angeles.
Or the teams not only that refuse to spend money, but the teams that are constantly trading them players. When it's like, I was thinking about it, I was like, who else outside of the Dodgers could he have gone to? And I was like, he literally could have went to anyone else but them. You probably could have gotten a better haul of picks. You probably could have gotten a better haul of players. You probably could have got more money from everybody. Why the Dodgers of all people? I'm trying to think. I'm like, I've never heard people talk about their farm system. If their farm system is good, like, if anything, I'm like, I knew that he wasn't going to get traded to a central team. He's definitely not getting traded to an East team. So I'm like, okay, maybe an AL West team. I could probably see that. Maybe an NL Central team. Maybe I thought he may be a Milwaukee, maybe a Cubs, maybe even maybe even the Phillies. We know the Phillies are good for picking up a pitcher, like a Hall of Fame All-Star pitcher, and then flipping that for picks. Look, we got a bunch of picks from them and a bunch of players from them. That lasted a pretty long while when we traded Cliff Lee. So I just didn't understand why the Dodgers.
I will say this in fairness to the situation. This wasn't a case. We knew. I talked with you guys on the air when I went to Chicago for vacation, Memorial Day weekend, that Detroit was having legitimate conversations about trading Skubal. So because they had a terrible start to the season, they were winning some games during the summer when he came back, but they're not leading the AL Central. So
and by the time they could catch up, there was no need for him.
Yeah. So this is not a case where the Tigers front office woke up last Saturday and said, we should do this. Like, the other 29 Major League Baseball teams knew Skubal was a trade piece, and nobody else. Maybe there might have been a couple other teams that we don't know about have made offers, that made discussions and things like that. But LA came up with the best offer. It's unfortunate because it's always Los Angeles coming up with the best offer.
But this is not even the best offer. You could have got more from someone.
I know. But we got to figure out from Detroit's standpoint what their priorities were.
I don't know what Detroit's priorities are. You go from being their season from there is one point in their season that I know that they hate, and it's that game in New York last year. That game in that Yankee game that they lost. From the moment they lost that Yankee game till now, it has been downhill. They lost the lead in the Central. They lost in the playoffs. Their team is just crap. It is one of those things where I think about them and I'm just like, you guys had it. You were right there.
Well, and I know with the Tigers, I know is weird because I have to correct myself. I always say okay, technically we did win the AL Central last year, but then in the playoffs they got the playoff series. But who had the better story last year? I mean, you got to have that. But I'm sure with Tiger fans, even though they beat the Guardians in the playoffs, giving up a 15-game lead in the division, that didn't feel good. And then obviously not going to the World Series and stuff, that didn't feel good.
No, they lost.
You have Skubal on your team. But I was gonna say real quick on with the Marlins. Over time, twice in their team history, they've built up world caliber teams to win championships. And we know one of them here back in 97. And then after 97 and 2003, they blow their teams up. So that's the other end of the spectrum. It's like, okay, you could, and we don't see this that often. And it's a bit of a different time because we're talking 25 to 30 years ago. So it's a different time, but that's the other end of the spectrum. Like, you have somebody that builds up, great teams and then don't even try to defend the title. You immediately blow up the team.
Both of those titles they won were by accident. Neither of those titles should they have won. Both were by accident. Both times they were wild card teams, and both they were worse. They were the worst team in the playoffs.
Unfortunately, I wish I would have came true in '97.
Real close. It was so close. I don't even want to talk about it. It was so close. But it just like when I think of the state of Major League Baseball right now, and I think of this, and I just say to myself, I'm like, you guys, like, you just don't get it. I'm like, every time they take 2 steps forward to maybe reclaiming that title of America's pastime and being the leader in sports again, and maybe you get back in the conversation where people care about baseball, you do something like this where it's like, well, why would I watch baseball if I know the Dodgers are going to win? That's the problem. They're not really competitive.
So let me ask you this then, because I know your time's almost up here.
Mm-hmm.
Does Major League Baseball need a lockout to force themselves to fix the issue? And I guess the second question, if they have a lockout, will they actually address those issues and fix it?
I think they definitely need a lockout because there's too much going on both sides to where they're bumping heads and it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I think for sure, I would say look at the model. Unfortunately, I hate to say this. Look at the model of not Major League Baseball, National Football League. Every single year, look. I know people are going to be like, "What happened?" So the NFL has figured out how to make all of their teams competitive, and that the self-inflicted stuff is self-inflicted. But everybody has an even playing field. Contracts with draft positioning, everybody has an even playing field up until training camp starts, and then you see just how uneven it is, right? Mm-hmm. But you have a salary cap, you have a salary floor. Everybody is competitive. Small market teams are competitive, or what? Because think about this: Kansas City is a competitive team. Think about Kansas City, in Major League Baseball. They're not a competitive team. Like, the bigger markets in football, right?
Yeah.
We consider them small markets in Major League Baseball, but they're bigger markets in football because there's a straight across advantage. Like, no,
I mean, look at this. I mean, look, in Autumn, look at it this way. The Green Bay Packers, Green Bay, Buffalo, Jacksonville, and Tampa. All four of those teams are either playoff teams or fringe playoff teams in the case of Tampa Bay, but they're all competitive.
Yeah.
Like there is no question when you can't tell the story of any NFL season without mentioning the Green Bay Packers being a contender.
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form, whether it's Super Bowl or a playoff team.
As someone that's been to Wisconsin, Green Bay is literally in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Literally in the middle of nowhere. And they are a competitive team year in and year out. People want to go to Green Bay. Do you think people, we say this, people want to go here, people want to go there in different sports. In the NFL, it don't matter. It's where you want to win. Mm-hmm. So I think Major League Baseball needs to get out of this thing of well, it's LA, they want to be in LA. Well, it's New York, they want to be in New York. Make it competitive for all 30 teams.
But all 30 teams. In Autumn, we're going to continue this conversation on my show. All 30 teams have to be locked in on it because I just pulled up here.
They have to.
So on my side computer here, if you're doing a salary cap and a floor, and I think the floor is equally as important. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. 30 teams.
Look,
there's only 10 teams that are within range of both the cap and the floor.
Yeah.
You got what? I'm looking at it here. 6 to 8 teams that's over the cap. That's your big teams, Dodgers, Yankees, Toronto. And then there are 12 to 15 teams under the floor. So those teams at the bottom, honestly, and this is the part, if this goes to a lockout, where those teams at the bottom are going to be the ones that's going to want to agree to terms just to get back into action. They're going to be the ones to break, but they're the ones not spending.
But I think this is also the other thing. We got to get out of this mindset of like they don't want to spend. It's not that they don't want to spend. It's just that if they do spend, is this player going to leave? Is this going to blow up in my face? Is this going to – because think about this.
I get that. I know. I get that with some teams. You can't tell that to a Pirates fan.
No. I know. You can't even tell it to some Guardians fans. But I think what we need to do in Major League Baseball is you need to cut down the LA advantage. They have advantages because they're taking advantage. Make it an even playing field for everybody. And maybe, just maybe, the Pirates will be what they once were. Maybe the Marlins will finally stop blowing up their team. Maybe the Guardians will actually have players stick around. You got to give people some incentive, and you got to give players some incentive. Nobody wants to be here because there's no incentive. Nobody wants to be in Pittsburgh because there's no incentive. I want to be in LA. I'm going to get paid. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I want to be in Boston because this, like, you have to give teams an advantage, and so you have to make it an even playing field. That's the only way this is going to work. Only one.
Yeah, I think you got a point there. All right, Autumn, tomorrow. Again, it's just you and Chad tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow it will be me and Chad. Also tomorrow I will give you guys behind the scenes because I am attending the Cavs Cleveland WNBA name announcement. So I will be attending that tomorrow morning.
Yes,
I am one of the initial payment people. As in, I put my $28 down about a year and a half ago.
Good. I'm looking forward to hearing how that event goes down tomorrow.
Yes, so I will give you the behind the scenes scoop. I'll probably try to make a video about it, because it's going to be in the morning time. So we'll get that. We'll maybe probably talk about the name, which I think is probably going to be the Sirens. Which, if it's the Sirens, congrats. That's a badass name.
I'm just happy. Like, not everything in Cleveland has to have a rock and roll theme. So
thank God. Yes.
I'm sorry. That's an evergreen show, but that's whenever we're in evergreen season. At some point in this month, I'm like, when special events come to Cleveland, you don't have to do rock and roll theme all the time.
I don't want to see a damn guitar near this team at all.
Oh my goodness. All right, Otto, say goodnight to the fine folks watching.
Good night, people. You will see me for 2 hours tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be half asleep, but peace out.
Midnight Run comes your way next here on the Inside Edge Network.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to Midnight Run here on the Inside Edge Network. It is great to have you along. We're about 8 minutes past the top of the hour, and we are locked in, ready to go here on this August 4th. Remember, like and subscribe across all of our social media platforms at Inside Edge Net. We also are online at InsideEdgeNetwork.com and the Roku app. Just search Inside Edge Network. We are locked in. Just search. You can watch us from your couch or wherever you may be. This is going to be a full sprint here this hour. Coming up later this hour, the main events, Rob Rozicki will join the show. You might have heard him earlier today on WTAM 1100. A lot of baseball news, of course, with the Cleveland Guardians. We'll get Rob's thoughts, not just on that, but also we are starting this week in honor of the 10-year anniversary of ESPN The Ocho. ESPN The Ocho week. And the first sport we are going to profile today is the Microsoft Excel World Championships. You think I'm kidding? It's on the schedule for ESPN. We have video. We'll play it for you later in the show. We got that for you. But yes, obviously, busy day with baseball. We do want to quickly start with the Cleveland Browns, just the Browns training camp report. The first thing, ladies and gentlemen, no interceptions were thrown today. That's no interceptions was thrown today. We did have a scare. Casey Concepcion, he had a little bit of a shoulder injury. We did get reports. Daryl Ryder from 92.3 The Fan and other fine reporters here with the Browns reporting that he's just dinged up. He should be fine, ready to go. Now, this news stopped me in my tracks for three reasons. Number one, injuries in training camp, period. Ugh, yikes. Number two, in our rookie dynasty fantasy football draft, our rookie draft, I drafted Casey Concepcion, so I need him to be performing. I need him on the field. Somebody else in our league, I forgot who drafted Denzel Boston, so I got to go back and check who did on our league, but one of those two had to be good. The third reason, and the most important reason, the reason why we care as sports fans here in Cleveland, let's just be real, our two wide receivers, they're both standouts. They are both knocking it out of the park in camp. They're both handling business. I do not expect Jerry Jeudy to be a wide receiver one in any way, shape, or form. If not by week one, but, by the end of September. Like, again, Concepcion and Boston, like, they're both knocking it out of the park right now. And I think that's why it's important, no matter how you feel. And real quick, guys, real quick. Hey, listen to me. I blame Eli and Chad for this. They dropped a little question at like 10:55 today that bothered me. It still bothers me. I almost didn't even log on to do the show because I'm listening to the show. I'm prepping for this hour and stuff. And they dropped a question about, would you rather watch Deshaun Watson or Dylan Gabriel? That question has bothered me for the last hour and some change. And I will address that coming up in about, let's say about 5 or 10 minutes. It's not their fault, but it's the reports of Dylan Gabriel's, coming along. I got Garrett Bush saying, hey, when Dylan Gabriel's delivering, when he's getting his opportunities, he is delivering. Boy, we want an uncomfortable conversation. That one. More on that in about 5 or 10 minutes. But the receivers right now, they're standouts right now. It's clear and obvious. And that's why, ideally, you do want a quarterback settled in. When we talked on Main Event last night, myself, Eli, and Eli Moon and Rob Rosicki, when we talked last night, I did mention, ideally, by the time you get to the joint practices against Buffalo in a couple of weeks, that's when you want probably the quarterback to be decided. The one thing that was a little bit alarming coming into today, what's the one glaring weakness in Shedeur Sanders' game? The one glaring weakness. It's the getting the football out quickly. It's making a decision, getting the ball out quickly. And we heard reports that maybe it was a little bit worse. So the way I'm gauging what's happening right now, and, you could, the ESPN Cleveland does the QB tracker. It's good information. It's not the end all be all, but it's good information to have for evaluation. Again, considering that fans are not at practice every single day. And even if we were at practice, we don't know 100% what's going on with install. We don't know what exactly the coaches are working on and things like that. Like, I know Kevin Stefanski in the past, he had drills where the quarterbacks intentionally had to hold on to the football for like 5 seconds before throwing the football and things like that. That teaches your footwork, that teaches awareness, that teaches, progression, not looking at your first option and locking in on your first option, but first, second, third, back to your second, back to your first option, and go from that and go from there. So you do evaluate that footwork, all that stuff. So we don't know. But right now, Shedeur Sanders, he's not doing enough to like lock this job down. I believe in Shedeur Sanders. I believe you give Shedeur all 17 games, he's going to deliver for you. I think he's going to deliver for the Cleveland Browns. And again, you got receivers that can get it done. You got a rebuilding offensive line. Again, today was first day in Pats. So you have all the resources and stuff. But again, with camp, it's all consistency. You got to come through. For those who are curious about how they did with the QB tracker, today, again, according to ESPN Cleveland, Shedeur Sanders, 8 of 16, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Deshaun Watson, 13 of 25, no touchdowns, no picks. Dylan Gabriel, 7 of 12, no touchdowns, no interceptions. And Green, 3 of 4, no touchdowns, no interceptions. All right. It's time to take this head on. Let's bring in my good buddy, my bro, Eli Moon, to the screen. Let's bring him on. By the way, folks, I'm finally. I cannot wait. Oh my goodness.
Dude,
oh my goodness.
About time.
Oh yeah, yes. Yeah, ain't that the truth, dude? Eli,
too, almighty.
Man, listen. We'll get to the Brown stuff and this is me and you talking for a second.
Yeah. Forget all the people tuning in.
Well, the people watching, they understand this. Yeah. They get it, dude.
Yes.
When it's almost time to get the haircut, but it ain't there yet, you don't feel right, man.
Dude, I haven't been feeling right now. It's already too long for me right now. Like somebody the other day was like, "Your hair looks so good." I'm like, "No, it looked good a month and a half, 2 months ago. Right now, it looks like garbage." I mean, God.
No, man. It's just like, because like I know you guys have, your style of hair, with black hair. It's like the lineup has to be on point. Mm-hmm. Things have to be even and stuff. Like when our audience sees me on Wednesday, like you'll notice the difference. Like watch tonight's show and then tune in Wednesday when I'm back on. You'll see like, oh, okay, I get it. But like it's just like, man, I'm like all this grays coming in. That like grays are coming in on the sides. Up here, you can only dress the hair up so much, and it's just like, come on, man. Like, are you kidding me?
No, it's haircuts are one of the most confusing things ever. And I think we talked to Riziki yesterday, and he was mind-boggled how much it costs. I think that it deters a little bit of people, but it's like, look, like I said yesterday, main event, I'll say it again tonight. Look, it costs to look good. I mean, like if you want a cheap haircut, that's what you're going to get. Like, I mean, I hate to break it to people, but it's just like anything. Like, yes, you can find some steals. Just like, you can go to a restaurant and, they may be a little bit more on the cheaper side. You might get a good meal, but a lot of times you got to go pay top dollar to get what you're looking for food. Same thing with a haircut.
I wonder for everyone watching, how much do you pay at your barbershop? For those of you watching, because I spend, the base cost is $40 and then I include tip.
Yep.
So I spend basically $50.
Right. Yeah. I mean, about $50-$60 is typically what you're spending. I mean, typically most people are spending that at a barber. I mean, that's cheap. If you're a dude, like, count your blessings, because ladies we hear are 100, 175, 200. So, I mean, it's just and I said it yesterday. It's the entrepreneurship, right? Like, price is what you pay, value is what you get. That's something I learned a long time ago. And a lot of these guys and girls that are becoming barbers, that are starting their own businesses, they're covering the cost of that. They're not under a big corporation where they're getting an hourly and then this. It's like your cut is like what pays you. Like, so I don't know. I look, at the end of the day, I'm gonna take care of my barber. Yeah, I know you do as well. You got to take care of your barber because it's like they're in the service industry in a way, right?
And I love the barbershop I go to.
Yeah.
They are fantastic. They watch our stuff. They love our stuff. I know I'm gonna hear about Triple H tomorrow from one of the barbers because man, I'm gonna hear about it, man. But it's just like, man, it's tough because I know if you've been away from the barbershop for a little bit, maybe before it was like $20.
Right.
Pandemic changed everything.
Sure did.
It changed everything.
Yeah, and like I said, I think it's just like the service industry, right? In a way, like they're not waitresses or waiters or anything, but in a way they are because they are taking care of you, like just like you would take care of your waiter and your waitress, in the service industry, and they make their most money off their tips. They're gonna do the same thing with a barber. You're gonna make sure they get paid, and that's by taking care of them and their tip. And otherwise they're really not making much. So, I mean, if you want your barber, not you, doubly, but if, somebody at home listening, like, I'm not paying that. Well, if you want your barber to fuck your haircut up, for lack of better words, then don't pay for it. I mean,
yep.
So.
It costs. All right, let's take a break right now. I do want to sneak in the question that Eli presented at the very end of Primetime. It's like a truth bomb about Deshaun Watson and Dylan Gabriel. And I want Eli to present it the way that he did at the end of the show because it's got to bother me a little bit. So we're going to take the break. And then Robert Zicki, he was just on the air at WTAM earlier tonight, 4 hours. He's going to join us also when we come back from break here on Main Event to break down all the stuff going on with the Cleveland Guardians. I will admit, Cleveland Guardians had a great day today. They had a great day. We'll hear Rob's thoughts on everything that they did, and we'll get your reaction, everything they accomplished, and where do you go from here when we come back from break. You're watching Midnight Run. My name's Anthony Alford. Great to have you with us here on the Inside Edge Network. We're about 21 minutes past the hour. We're back right after this.
Key On Sports is the leader in Ohio high school athletic coverage in written, print, and video streaming. From the latest news and results and written content to the high school football game of the week every Friday, Key On Sports has you covered. The vision of 15-time published author Vince McKee has become the most trusted site in Ohio high school athletic news. From podcasts to player profiles, Key On Sports is your one-stop for all of it. Visit them today at keyonsports.com or on YouTube at Key On Sports. Check out their socials on Twitter and Facebook as well.
Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. There were 15 flavors to choose from. You can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Discover our collection of body mists made with clean, minimal ingredients. Handcrafted with natural essential oils and clean ingredients, they offer a natural alternative to synthetic fragrances. Perfect for sensitive skin and those seeking clean, mindful self-care, and the perfect gift for you or your special someone. Courtesy of Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers, use that promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at SportsMemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the SportsMemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to SportsMemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. SportsMemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com. What's up, guys? Awesome episode of Unfiltered today. We talked about a lot, including the possibility of being able to vote at the age of 16. Wow, never thought I'd see that coming. Also, we talked about Max Miller, that whole controversy. We talked about a bunch of different things involving the MLB trade deadline. Tomorrow, big news in the sports world for Cleveland involving the WNBA franchise. We'll talk about their name and what they look like, and so much more when it comes to local news, everything happening here in Northeast Ohio, right here at your fingertips, Unfiltered, with Kyle Cornell, 5 p.m. tomorrow, right here on the Inside Edge Network.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
All right, welcome back. Riziki coming up in about 2 minutes. We might have to burn one more break before we bring in Rob. Eli, you are up on deck, though, for me right now because, Eli, why don't you ask the question that you and Chad brought up at about 10:57 on Inside Edge Primetime earlier today?
Oh, okay. You chose that question, not me asking Chad how his vacation was. Copy. All right. No, all jokes aside. All right.
He barely got any sleep. I picked that up.
Yeah, he didn't. He did not. No, he didn't. But it's
great
good
to
have
have Chad back, by the way.
Yes.
He had a phenomenal vacation, it sounded like, other than him adjusting to a sleep schedule.
Yeah, and we don't sleep. I'll be on the phone with Chad after the show, going over tomorrow, just getting him ready for Tuesday and Wednesday and all that great stuff. All right. Chad and I were talking, and I just was thinking, because everybody's talking about Dylan Gabriel and how he's looking great against the second and third stringers, and, he's just looking phenomenal out there, AA. And we've talked about Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. I just thought, okay, let's say there's a world where Shedeur Sanders isn't in the picture. I know it pains both of us. We're big Shedeur Sanders guys. We believe he's the guy. Chad leans that way as well. But let's just say, you know what? The Browns say, he's not the guy. There is a 2-quarterback competition, however, and it's Deshaun Watson and it's Dylan Gabriel because how Gabriel's looked in training camp and all that. AA, would you rather, as a Browns fan, watch Deshaun Watson be your starting quarterback for the entire season or Dylan Gabriel be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns for the entire season?
Is there somebody outside we could pick?
Chad asked the same thing. And
I know he did. He picked either that or a dog. I need to see more from Dylan Gabriel in front of my two eyes. Yeah. I need to see more for me to pick Dylan Gabriel. Right now, I'm going to pick Deshaun. Right now,
yeah,
because I need to see Dylan Gabriel actually look like he belong on the field. Period. Can Dylan Gabriel handle himself on the field? There were a lot of batted balls, the first go around. It's Kevin Stefanski's offense. I get it. I understand. Mm-hmm. But a lot of batted balls, and I mean without much effort. It's just hands up, ball was coming down. Yeah. Dylan Gabriel had a hard time seeing the field last season. So without much frame of reference other than highlights, it's hard for me to put any stock behind Dylan Gabriel other than I trust our reporters. I trust our analysts who are out of camp that are saying, and fans will be out there at some point too, who are saying all right, when he's in there, he's looking good. But again, I gotta be mindful that he's in against the backups too. So these are things I got to be mindful about, but I'm not confident in picking Dylan Gabriel for this answer. I'm still going to say Deshaun Watson, even though when we talked over the phone earlier today, I was damn near speechless because I had a mental breakdown as you were laying this question out.
Yeah, and not to interrupt, but let me play devil's advocate for a moment. I think we have Rob. I don't know if he can. He does hear us, so he'll be on in just a moment. Let me play devil's advocate for just a second here, and then I'll get out of the way because you know what? I love watching things burn down sometimes. So let me ask you this: let's say, you know, and not even a question. I guess more of a statement. Doubly, I'm good at questions, but I think this is more of a statement. You have been, and I've been mentioning, you know, and others across the network that, hey, you know, Deshaun Watson, we understand what he is. We know what he is. Wouldn't Dylan Gabriel, and I'm a Shedeur guy, but wouldn't Dylan Gabriel tend to be the same kind of outlook if you're a Browns fan? And remember, 3rd round draft pick, a guy that you could find out if he's the future, or if you draft a quarterback based off of what we've seen in camp and based off of everything else we've been hearing. Now, of course, I still think Shedeur's been the best in camp. I think people just love crapping on that guy for no reason. But wouldn't that technically be the same thing, Double A? Why wouldn't your mind be the same way as if Gabriel's looking better in camp than Deshaun Watson at times? Wouldn't you rather see 17 games of Dylan Gabriel and find out if he's the guy? If the Browns lean towards him out of the young guys?
Great question. The reason why I do not feel the same was because my opinion of trust with Shedeur Sanders, the reason why it's not the same, I saw what Shedeur Sanders could do at the end of the regular season last year. I saw what he could do when he had weapons around him, move the ball down the field. I seen that with Shedeur. I did not see that at all with Dylan Gabriel. Like, I do not, in my mind, I don't have a sample size of Dylan Gabriel being able to properly run an NFL offense against first teamers.
Fair.
This is me on August 4th talking. Could that being changed on August 24th? Maybe, possibly.
Right.
Shedeur, I'm giving that vote of confidence because we saw what we saw at the end of the regular season last year, beating the Steelers, beating some of those other teams that he had no business beating, and that's, you know, he stepped in, raw talent. Dylan, I did not see that. You know, so that's what, like, right now, I don't have that buy-in with Dylan Gabriel at this very moment. I trust the reports, but I need to see it.
Right.
And without that buy-in, Eli, I would have to answer that question as Deshaun Watson put him in because, you know, if you don't feel that the other guy can put together W's, then burn off the contract of what you have now.
my final point, then I'm going to disappear, is, man, I don't know how we're going to do this show if Dylan Gabriel starts a preseason game and does well, looks lights out, like just is hitting all his passes, is able to see the field better. Because I think then we have opened up the biggest can of worms we didn't expect this offseason. Because Dylan Gabriel was an afterthought coming into training camp.
Well, you know what, though? I will say, I would actually, if that happens, cool. At this point, because, I hate to say it, we have the worst quarterback room in the NFL currently, or one of the worst. I'm open to conversation. I'm open to having a third. I like that there is a little bit of conversation of a third guy. I don't want the conversation of a third guy because the other two guys they stink.
Right. I get that.
I want the third guy to be involved in the conversation because he is getting better and he's elevating the game of Sanders and Watson.
Right.
And, you know, he should get the rest because he is looking good. He deserves opportunities. I don't want him to simply get opportunities because Sanders is inconsistent and Watson's inconsistent. So, we got more on that. That's a great. You brought this up earlier today. I got a headache, but it was.
You were mad at me. You were mad at me for a minute. It's okay.
I was. I'm like, man, get this out of here, man. You know?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Hey, how about this? How about this? You've had enough of one main event co-host. I know you. You know, I'll disappear into the background and. Maybe I'll go. What did we have for dinner tonight? We had Nathan's hot dogs and we had some tater tots. I think there's some leftover tater tots and I have Dr. Pepper. What'd you have for dinner? I know Rizicki's standing by and we're about to do the swapperooski.
Matter of fact, bring Rizicki on right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Bring him on.
This is my dinner. I hope I don't drop it. Look at that.
Yeah, don't drop that, man. That's like Kevin from The Office shit right there, man. You don't need that.
No,
that looks good though. No, I have a leftover burrito I think I'm going to consume after this. So. from Azteca. If you're ever on the east side of Cleveland, it's out on the Menor Way. Yeah.
Okay. This should take me to Wednesday or maybe
I've been
Thursday.
there. Yeah, you just cook a shit ton of pasta and just keep on going until it's gone.
I love it. Wait, you know what? I know we just spent all Sunday night together, but you know what, Rob? We got Doubly's got some thoughts for you. I'm gonna go put a Dr. Pepper in the freezer so it's ready by the end of Midnight Run, so I have a nice cold drink after. And you guys talk Guardians. I heard they did something today.
Yeah, and I think God, after listening to you guys the last 5 minutes, you guys did a good job with it. But I had to host a 4-hour sports talk show tonight. And I didn't really talk about the Browns at all. And I'd like to thank the Cleveland Guardians for making that possible.
Yes.
That was really the capper on my day today. So that worked out well.
So when you woke up this morning, Rob, and they made the moves. We'll get to each of the moves here in a little bit. But did you expect? It was so crazy, Rob, because I'm at the gym. I'm listening to Kyle's show. And I kept getting the ESPN alerts, and I look, and it's like Cleveland Guardians did this. Okay, nice. And then 10 minutes later, Guardians did this. And I thought at first they were repeating the news that they did
just like a duplicate alert or something. Yeah, no, I mean it was weird when your people called my people earlier today to kind of iron out me popping on tonight before I realized I had to host. I was preparing for a much angrier conversation. This is normally a very frustrating time for Guardians fans. If you listen regularly right now, or even to us on Sundays, you kind of know that, this is the point in time of the year where we're wanting something to happen and it just never quite does. And the Joe Adell news dropped, or I want to say around noon, 1 o'clock, somewhere in there. And pleasantly surprised. And if we would have just ended with that, it would have been okay, cool. I mean, I'm placated anyway. We have a little hope, but then we popped down with Foster Griffin, left-handed pitcher out of Washington, bona fide all-star, 12-game winner right now. His ERA is around 3. Not a joke arm. So that made me even happier. And then it actually broke as I was walking into the station. Was the last one that we had, Nathaniel Lowe, who I see Chris Antonetti is calling Nate. So I think we can go with Nate Lowe because that's going to be a whole lot easier to say than Nathaniel.
Somehow, yes.
He's going to be he's a first baseman and a DH primarily out of Cincinnati. I mean, like the Guardians did exactly what we have been screaming about. I don't know if a starter was thought about really heavily by the fan base, but a guy that we can pair up or make a trio now with Messick and Gavin Williams, and now this kid Griffin right after him. He's 30 years old. It looks like we have a pretty formidable top 3 and probably top 4 when you throw in Tanner Bybee. So Guardians fans, at least for right now. I mean, they didn't play today, so we didn't have a chance to not score any runs. We didn't have a chance for any of our normal bugaboos to kind of creep up in the news cycle. So for an off day, I mean, this feeling in the air in Cleveland in baseball season's a little weird. It's hope. And I think the Guardians fans are justified in having that hope.
Yeah, I want to get to Griffin first because, every baseball person that I've checked, The Athletic gave the Guardians an A+. And
they were doing a pretty good job of sitting on most every other trade made today. So great work with that.
Well, what's your thoughts on Griffin and being added to? I mean, hearing Tanner Bybee fourth there, that's great. But what's your thoughts on Griffin being inserted into the pitching rotation for Cleveland?
There's actually a few dominoes that are going to fall first, and I'll get to Griffin in a second, but. Specifically, he's probably going to be third or fourth starter. Him and Bybee are kind of going to be on the same plane. What that's going to do is force Slade Ciccone out of the rotation. He's a number 5 starter. He's now going to be a starter without a home. And there's a few ways that could go. They could put him in the bullpen, and that could actually be kind of like a double move. Like that could reinforce the bullpen and help out the rotation all at the same time. Or they could put him in Columbus, or they could even go to a 6-man rotation. They did that at the end of the year last year. They might have some success with that again. Parker Messick has I think this next start, he will exceed his lifetime high in innings pitched. So they're going to have to really keep an eye on that. Same with Joey Cantillo to a point. They've been playing the whole starter reliever game with him. So, the last couple of years. So I don't know how sure they are for him for the long haul. So that could be a possibility. But yeah, the kid, Griff, or I say kid again, he's 30 years old, but he's kind of new in baseball. He's kind of an odd story. He bounced around a couple of teams early on when rookies typically do so. Never really stuck anywhere, never really kind of even had a long-term run anywhere. Went to Japan for 3 years and then came back to Washington as basically a 30-year-old rookie and has been phenomenal. He's a 12-game winner, as I said, ERA just north of 3. He has 22 starts on the year, 116 strikeouts. Now, the weird thing with him, I've been doing a little scout because, again, these are all National League guys, so they're not normal names for the Guardians here.
Right.
With Griffin specifically, he's going to be kind of like Cantillo. His fastball is going to top out 91, 92 miles an hour, relies on control, relies on breaking stuff. He's not going to be Gavin Williams throwing 98, 99, 100 miles an hour off the mound. But he has been very effective. He's going to a new league, which normally favors pitching. Normally when you have an unfamiliar batter and an unfamiliar pitcher, the pitcher's in control. So that should be able to help him out. And yeah, as I said, to start the whole thing out, he's going to be probably penciled in as the 3-4 starter. I think Gavin Williams, Parker Messick, they've done enough to kind of be the unequivocal number 1, number 2. But what this does now is that in a playoff situation, you do have a reliable gang of 4. Nothing against Joey Cantillo, but he might be relegated to the bullpen again for a playoff run. So yeah, he's going to help out a lot. He's probably the most surprising and the best overall acquisition they made because we're going to get into the other 2 guys. They're not going to be everyday players. As much as I love Joe Adell and the bat, I don't think they're going to be day in, day out guys. Foster Griffin, he's going to be in the starting rotation, and it was unexpected. So I think it's kind of a nice surprise for Guardians fans.
Yeah, I it's the one thing you cannot criticize with Cleveland is always, the pitching rotation and upgrading the pitching and seeing Griffin in particular come through and reading about him. Cause again, we didn't have the exposure and things like that. So I was not going to lie and say, man, I watched him play all this time. Like I didn't know anything about him, but like actually seeing the numbers, seeing what he's been able to do, seeing what he could add.
Yeah.
Especially in the American League where it's not that many competitors. Go for it. Get the AL Central and hope for the best. It's going to be big to have Griffin in that rotation.
Well, that's why these series of moves today, and even if you want to throw in the Bo Naylor trade over the weekend where, we picked up a reliever that's already thrown that Yoho kid. Yeah, I mean, we're looking at an American League right now where 1 or 2 of the right trades could really be the difference between being the first wild card team out and being in the World Series. So yeah, I think that's why we're pretty excited when Guardians land right now because we're getting some new blood in here. I'm sure Stephen Vogt is loving the fact that we have a brand new set of combinations we can try with the lineup and see if we can shoot for 120 or 125. But it's going to, these moves were the moves that we wanted as fans and we got them. And yeah, the 2 offensive guys, they seem to be, they're going to be more of a platoon situation. I think Joe Adell, Nathaniel Lane, Nate Lane, I guess we're going to call him. What? Nate Lowe. Nate Lane was in the birdcage. Nate Lowe, he's going to be probably taking, first base against right-handed pitching. We're still going to see a little Rhys Hoskins in there. Probably DH too at some point in time. Joe Adell, he's for a casual fan. If you remember the outfielder that robbed 3 home runs earlier this year in the same game, that was him. And then he was also the same dude a few weeks later that had one Jose Canseco bounce off the top of his head over. So you know what?
Hey,
a little bit of good, a little bit of bad, but we're here. He's going to be entertaining.
Hey, listen, welcome to the team. I did see here with Joe Adell, courtesy of G-Men Man. on Twitter. Joe Adell right now ranked number 1 in home runs for the Guardians, number 1 in RBIs, number 1 in hits. Again, versus left-handed pitching, number 1 in home runs, number 1 in RBIs.
Well, the good news is about the left-handed pitching stats. Yeah, he would be number 1 for the Guardians. He's also top 10 in baseball. He is lighting up left-handed pitching. He's hitting over 300. OPS, I believe, over 900, which is getting up into ungodly land.
909.
So he's rocking out pretty well against lefties. That's what we're going to see him against. For as much as we're going to see low against righties, Joe Adell is that right-handed stick the Guardians fans have been, clamoring for a while. We thought it was going to be dudes like John Kenzie Noel or, all of the, big, what we had SpongeBob back in the day too, all these dudes that have been just auditioning for that spot. Joe Adell is going to be up next. And, we'll see if, the right-handed stick will carry over into Progressive Field. Hopefully he'll get in a nice little habit of being able to just, go the other way and flick a ball over that right field fence. But yeah, I mean, it is a very good series of moves, but it's also a Guardians-esque series of moves. It didn't cost a lot. You notice we haven't talked about any of the guys we've given up. And yes, we've given up 6 prospects for these 3 guys, 4 for the pitcher, and then 1 apiece for each of the position players. None of them are really in the top 15, top 20. Maybe the catching prospect we gave up for Adell. Let's see, who is what we had, Jacob Cozart.
Mm-hmm.
He's projected to be a pretty good defensive catcher, maybe a big leaguer, maybe not. And we got a bunch of those guys. Like, we got a bunch of sound defensive catchers who are quad A dudes. So, okay. And I think he was like a top 15, top 14 prospect. But other than that, we didn't really get rid of anybody. None of the guys that we've been talking about. One casualty in this, I don't know if anybody's going to hold any seances or any vigils. Juan Brito was DFA'd in this whole mess. He was then probably picked up by the Reds. So he's kind of a de facto gift in this whole deal. And then if you're expecting Kyle Manzardo or David Fry in the lineup tomorrow, you can see them, but you're going to have to go to Columbus. They were sent down as part of this too. So lots of changes are happening.
Yeah. Real quick. Are you surprised? Stephen Kwan, are you surprised that he was not moved at all?
No.
Okay.
No, because, and you're seeing it contractually with Luis Ariz, who got moved today. He's now a Philly. He was actually somebody a lot of Guardians fans were really hoping they could pick up. Ariz is kind of the same kind of hitter that Kwan is. Contact hitter. He doesn't strike out. He doesn't walk. I think he has under 20 walks and under 20 strikeouts. He makes contact. And he also has, I think he's the only player in Major League history to win 3 batting titles in a row while playing for 3 different teams. So watching all him, and he's a free agent now. He's been bopping around. There's not really a market for him. Nobody's really offering him a big multi-year deal. Nobody's clamoring to give a shit ton of prospects up for him. And I think that might have been why Kwan was kind of, and then plus 2, you throw in the whole first half with Kwan and you never quite know what you're going to get now. No, I think Kwan's probably more valuable here than he is anywhere else.
We are here with the main events and WTAM 1100s. Rob Rosicki joining us here on Midnight Run. And I guess now, and we're reacting to the Cleveland Guardians, who had a great day. When you get Buster Olney to say, man, in the American League, Guardians, number 1.
I just saw that like 20 minutes ago. I was getting ready to hop on with you guys. I was like, what the hell? Okay, we'll go with it. Screw the Yankees.
Yeah, let's go. Should we lay off? Is it time for us to lay off on the Dolans, or do we still need to apply the pressure?
Christ. That's going to be a big murky. Like, there's a lot of things with the Dolans right now that make a lot of, there's some variables there. You got David Blitzer waiting in the wings. He's going to be the owner at some point in time, or at least scheduled to be the owner at some point. If you're a Devils fan, he owns that hockey team. He's involved with the Sixers. Actually, it's going to be weird. If he takes over the next couple of years, the same guy who owns the Cleveland Guardians is going to be paying LeBron James. So, weird. And also, too, the same guy who owns the Browns was the one that traded Giannis to Miami. But whatever. It's a weird world we just live in. Yes. But he's also, he's going to be a question mark, and then also to the biggest one. And there is no sort of maybe about this. That we are going to have a labor problem in December, and we've already talked off air how the hell we're going to handle this as a net and as a show. But it's going to happen. So I don't know how to feel about the Dolans right now. The way I'm looking at it is maybe not worried about the Dolans. I am giving a standing ovation to the front office. They did their job. Yes. And we had a caller and a texter chime in on TAM saying that, no matter what happens, if they make the playoffs, if they don't make the playoffs, win the World Series, don't win another game, you can't blame the front office. They did their job. They came through. They were at, we wanted, the right-handed stick. We needed somebody to play the outfield. We got Joe Adell. We needed first base solved. We got, Lowe out of Cincinnati. Cool. Then we bolstered a pretty damn good starting rotation to begin with. So we ain't the Dodgers. We don't have 5 All-Stars. We don't have Blake Snell and his 2 Cy Youngs, on the ass end of this thing. But yeah, we're doing pretty good.
It's a great day to be a Guardians fan. And, we melted down. I thought yesterday was going to be Eli's last day with us on the air because I have not heard him curse that much in a long, long time talking about the Guardians and stuff.
Yeah, we would have had more problems if we were on terrestrial. So I think we're doing pretty good with Moon.
Rob, you want to stick around for one more segment because when we come back, we're celebrating 10 years of ESPN The Ocho. I'm actually blaming this on you because you introduced me to Slippery Stairs.
I get that.
So,
and the other one I heard too, I heard Ice Cube being introduced on a podcast. The Big Three is in its 8th year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. Hey,
it's worked. For what it is, it's worked. So, okay, yeah, I'll come back. We'll talk a little of the Ocho. That's okay. I got SportsCenter on right now. I'm just kind of boring, just watching all this trade deadline crap.
Right. There's a sport that is going to be played on the ESPN The Ocho schedule this weekend. We'll introduce you to that when we come back. We have video for you. Myself, Rob, and Eli will all react to this particular event when we come back from break here on Midnight Run.
Discover our collection of body mists made with clean, minimal ingredients. Handcrafted with natural essential oils and clean ingredients, they offer a natural alternative to synthetic fragrances. Perfect for sensitive skin and those seeking clean, mindful self-care, and the perfect gift for you or your special someone. Courtesy of Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers, use that promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. There were 15 flavors to choose from you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at SportsMemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to sportsmemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. Sportsmemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Key On Sports is the leader in Ohio high school athletic coverage in written, print, and video streaming. From the latest news and results and written content to the high school football game of the week every Friday, Key On Sports has you covered. The vision of 15-time published author Vince McKee has become the most trusted site in Ohio high school athletic news. From podcasts to player profiles, Key On Sports is your one-stop for all of it. Visit them today at keyonsports.com or on YouTube at Key On Sports. Check out their socials on Twitter and Facebook as well.
Well, Side Hustle Podcast is ready to go. And Kyle, we talked SummerSlam.
We did, and we're going to have the results this coming Friday morning. A nice little 4 to 5 days to really, marinate with what the fuck happened over the weekend when it came to SummerSlam. I mean, did, Seth and Roman hold weight? Was it a true grand finale to that feud that's, over a decade plus in the making? Is CM Punk still champion? Did Nick Aldis, show up and show out, and his one chance turned into a golden opportunity? There's going to be so many questions that need to be answered. Plus, Evander had some interesting things that we were going to talk about, too, when it comes to just overall, lists and things. We haven't done lists in a long time on this program. I think it's been months and months and months. So we'll throw one of those at your guys' way, too, this coming up.
Yeah, we cannot wait. The Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast, only here on the Inside Edge Network.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
I would like to publicly share on the air that complete photo credit to that title slide goes to Rob and his girlfriend for taking that photo around Christmas time. And that's where it came from. That's where it
came. I was more thrown off with the phone sex lady doing the voice work for the intro there.
Come on, you gotta like my voiceover, my customized voiceover.
I like that. Yes, that was you can tell who the program director is around these parts.
That's right. That's right. All right. Welcome back to the show, everybody. I got Rob here for one more segment. Eli, you come on the screen too, because I want to get your reaction as well to this. Okay. We are celebrating 10 years of ESPN The Ocho. This upcoming weekend, you know the story. It's a lot of absurd stuff that they're broadcasting. And we're going to celebrate each sport, each day here on Midnight Run. And we have video of the first sport that you will see this weekend on ESPN The Ocho. Take a look.
It's the XL World Championship. The Annihilator, the child from Chile. It's going in the spreadsheet bin.
You are not prepared.
None of us are.
Three, 2, 1, excel!
Here we go. This is a tough case.
It is. Oh, look at that, and he's made the numbers out of it off to the side. Seconds.
Come on.
Anything gonna happen?
Michael Jordan.
Look at that. Look
takes
at that.
the win.
Look at that.
All those years of training have come
Yes.
to this moment in
The
2024.
World Championship.
Ladies and gentlemen, the World Microsoft Excel Championship, the World Championship, is an annual international esports competition where top spreadsheet users solve complex logic puzzles instead of traditional financial models.
I would have been absolutely screwed. I would have been screwed. Excel was like my least favorite Microsoft program in high school and everything. They're like, go ahead. Who has experience in Word? I'm like, yeah. PowerPoint. All right. I can work my way through it. Excel. No. Like to the point now where like obviously I book shows and I have a lot of stuff I got to manage on not only the Inside Edge network but also on the music side with the community. And Pop Moon was like, why don't you just get an Excel sheet? I said, are you kidding me? An Excel sheet? I'll stick to my phone notes and emails. Like that's where I'm at. I don't understand. Like kudos to that. Was Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan was the champion? Is that what they said? There was a guy named Michael Jordan.
Somebody at the end. He won, I think, $5,000.
That's some serious money.
Yeah, he's gonna be able to take care of his generations of family after him.
That is generational wealth there. No, I'm with you, Eli. I think I have used Excel. I was old enough that we didn't get it in school, so I think that might have been a thing. But I think I've used Excel about 6 times, and one of them was when I filled out the quarterback rankings for AA the other day. So I mean, we don't know. But could you imagine? Well, we need to talk to Pete. Because if we can get the radio rights to this thing, this would be amazing. Could you imagine being a broadcaster for something like that? Like,
oh my goodness,
dude!
I don't. We've done some pretty maniacal shit in our time. I don't know if we could pull that one off. I don't know how much ecstasy those ESPN commentators had to consume before the broadcast.
Dude,
nor the competitors. Like, that'd be I saw those guys getting the wrestling entrances and stuff like that. I didn't know. I don't know if I could, even if I was great at Excel, even if the money was better, I don't know if that would just be do that with a straight face. Good luck, Buckaroo.
He put the 3 where the 3 needed to be, and now he's got bingo. Is that what you would say? I don't know.
Apparently, I'm looking at the rules here. These are 30 to 40 minute time cases. Structure, different levels of logic and math and reasoning task.
So it seems like, as opposed to knowing, you need to know how to use Excel for sure, but you also need to know how to solve puzzles. You also need to be clever and kind of intuitive in that way too. It sounds like
you need to know the formulas that goes.
Yeah, you need to be able to. Yeah.
And expert analysis on the Microsoft Excel program.
Yeah, you
in front of an audience. In front of an audience. Have you ever typed in front of an audience?
No, because I used to get nervous during the typing, when they did typing in school, and they're like, "How many words can you type a minute?" And then you have the kid next to you, and he's typing 200 words per minute, and I'm over here at 78. I'm like, "Damn it, dude, stop!" Papa Moon is gonna be so pissed when I get home. I am dropping the ball. I mean, look, some people are Excel champions, some people slippery stairs. There's something for everybody on the Ocho.
Yeah, that's I can't believe they turned that into a sport. That's the other thing that's kind of astounding too is do we remember where the Ocho came from, gentlemen? Do we remember where that was incepted in pop culture?
The dodgeball movie
in 2004, when I was a junior in college. And we are now talking 22 years later. This thing is still going strong as a concept. This thing is still going, as its own cult little thing. Because really, it's one of my favorite things to put on, the old replays and stuff on, because it's on ESPN Plus all the time. So I'll watch, especially nowadays. The other thing I was also kind of thinking while seeing the highlight video of that particular sport is this what we're going to be looking forward to when any sort of labor strife in baseball has to happen? Are we going to be talking Major League Tiddlywinks, or are we Oregon Trail semifinals here? What are we doing?
I'd rather watch that than the World Series of Poker for the 3,000th time, like we had to back in the day.
Hey,
that was college, dude. Oh yeah, that was college.
All I know is I've been, I brain blasted during that moment, and I think on Wednesday because
I blacked out.
That's okay. I mean, everybody's got different coping skills, So it's like
What it was.
Yeah. But like, I'm off tomorrow for prime time. Double A and I will be off tomorrow. Chad and Autumn, just again, if you didn't hear it earlier, Chad and Autumn will do 10 to 12, prime time and Spiral. But I thought Wednesday, Double A, I'm gonna find that those old school math problems, guys, where like you have to like fill it out, but I'm gonna find an electronic one, like a digital one, where you get timed. How many math problems can you get right? I'm gonna see if Chad gets more than me. I want to see who gets more. We'll make
you're not about to do like what around the world.
I
used to go beast mode at that game.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm thinking like maybe we find like the most like a multiplication one, like and to get real crazy. Like I mean, I know Chad's a smart guy, but I think I could hold my own.
So how do you even try out for this Microsoft Excel thing? Like what?
You gotta go to Harvard.
Qualifications.
What you do is you get, like a, schoolyard pick 'em for like a basketball game or for a football game. And, you pick your teams and then you take all the people who weren't picked and you put them in the Excel competition. I think that's how you do it.
Dude, I mean,
judging by the look, we didn't see a whole lot of people who could try out for the 49ers in that crew of folks. No.
Dude, I'm curious what the pregame meal of a Excel World Champion looks like.
Well, you do need to be locked in. I mean, if you stare at a computer screen for too long, I mean, that's your eyes, right? Like you do need to be locked in and focused when you're in front of a computer.
So
and we've all been there too. Like, there's a different kind of tired when you're sitting in front of a computer all day and, doing the business of the day compared to, digging a hole or me on a kitchen line or something like that. Right. Like there's a different mental tired compared to a physical thing. So yeah, I'm sure it is a skill. I am sure it's something I'm not good at. So I don't feel too comfortable in making too much fun of these guys, but I guess, here we are with the Ocho and we are our horizons are being broadened. I think is what's happening right now.
If you are curious to watch the Microsoft Excel World Championship Finals,
okay,
it comes your way on ESPN. The Ocho might be ESPN2 or ESPN News, one of the ESPNs.
Most of the stuff I see for the Ocho's tagged ESPN News. So, yeah.
This Saturday, August 8th, 7 a.m.
Oh my God, dude! So I gotta think like. I don't even think I can process this at 7 a.m. and I'm not even doing the problems.
The program that follows the Microsoft Excel World Championship Finals is the USA Jigsaw Nationals, presented by Ravenberger.
So basically, you're going to have a generation of college kids who are hungover, getting home from the night before, watching jigsaw puzzles and Excel on ESPN when they're wondering where SportsCenter's at. I think that's going to be confusing for them.
My final point on this, I know we're up against it. My final point is, are they going to do a Red Baron 50th anniversary pizza championship, world championship? Like, I don't know if you've seen it, Rob, but the carrots on the pizza and the jalapenos and the onions and everything. Like, are they going to get groups together and go, you're in a group of two, who can finish this Red Baron pizza?
They might. My apologies, Eli. I had to delete that photo.
It's okay. No apologies needed. That shit should never stay in the system as long as it did.
What are you talking about? The new meme that Kyle's trying to you, or when you're in the field just staring off like you're in a Norwegian, just punk band or something here?
That was a crazy find. I'm going to be for real. Like, I was busy. I was at the zoo earlier, so when I came back home, Papa Moon, I found Papa Moon sharing it of Kyle's page. And I go, I'm the meme of the week. He goes, yeah, I thought it was funny, so I shared it. I was like, are you serious? So Papa Moon will probably join in. But no, Rob, when we get off air, I'll have to text it to you. Red Baron's doing a 50th anniversary pizza, and on it has 50 different toppings. Carrots are included, different styles of onions, ham, pineapple, jalapenos, just to add a few. It's a mess. We went over it last week and our stomachs hurt. I don't understand how people are doing it. It's like what I explained is like they went senile. The company's at the 50th year and they just went senile a little early. Like they were doing so good for 49 years and then they just lost it. And they lost all the goodwill they had with the
either that or they had a bunch of frozen pizza toppings sitting in, a freezer somewhere taking up space. And they're like, yeah, we just got to figure out a way to get rid of this shit.
Dude, I mean, first off, a pineapple on pizza is a no-go for me to begin with, so that just lost me. And then carrots and jalapenos, I only can handle 1 to 2 in a meal.
Yeah, that's a weird mix.
Weird.
Well, carrots on a pizza anyway. That's kind of out of the box, even if it's just a couple of other vegetables.
Yeah, diabolical. Absolutely diabolical.
Just nuts.
Are they on the pizza too?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. We're going to continue all week long to celebrate ESPN the Ocho because why not? Why not? It's
that a Browns training camp, baby.
Right. I mean, come on now. We're going to have full breakdown of fire department racing. Now, folks, this is some serious stuff. The fire department, things go down. And, you got to make sure all the hose is in where it needs to be and, trucks is where they need to be. And
I've never seen the fire trucks, but I've seen the lumberjack stuff, and I think that could be in the same vein. So I'm interested.
It might be.
Yeah, well, I mean, like competitive sawing. Like, it's great. It's just like a bunch of burly guys trying to do stuff fast. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and then I guess, and then Friday or at some point this week, we'll celebrate the OG of this, dodgeball. We will celebrate dodgeball, the OG of ESPN the Ocho. The reason why we're all here celebrating ESPN the Ocho. Excel, what are we doing? Like, of all things you can do with esports,
I mean, I would have liked to see a PowerPoint World Championship. Like, look at the style.
I'm sure it
on that
exists.
one.
I'm sure it exists.
I mean,
but at least with Excel, you're putting in formulas and like you're building. Actually, you know what? Pete probably would be perfect for this because again, you're building out code.
That's right. Don't send me in though. If we need a representative, do not send me in.
You know how much I really love to interact with Microsoft technology in any way, shape, or form, really. Like, again, I've had Outlook on my phone for 10 years. I've had it. Like, I've had to use it. I know how to send an email. I know how to receive an email. I know how to do basic stuff. I have been using the Microsoft suite of technology now for 10 years. And I still no. Like, do you want to download Excel on your phone? No. Why do I need that shit? Like, I might as well get it like English to Swahili. That's going to come more in handy.
That's
more
funny.
handy.
That's actually hilarious for Zicky because that's literally how me and Papa Moon filled out the QB tiers yesterday. Papa Moon was like, I didn't know I got an email from AA. Damn, I feel terrible. So like we pulled up the email, we got it together, and he's like, all right, let's pull it up. And I'm like, okay, well, open it through the browser. We don't need to download this shit right now.
I did it on a fucking desktop. That's how I ended up.
We should have did it like that.
Full transparency for our audience.
AA loves to email people. That's what you need to know.
Number one, that's true. Number two, we didn't even use Microsoft Excel. We used Google Sheets.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, It was Google. Yeah. So technically, we don't know shit about Microsoft Excel. Still. We did Google Sheets, and I was so like, Papa Moon's like, well, let me download the app.
You could have told me till the day I died that we used Microsoft Excel, and I would have believed you.
I tried to get around. I was like, look, Papa Moon, we'll just use the browser. And then it was like, we went to edit. He's like, it won't let me edit. I'm like, oh, they're going to make us download Google Sheets for one thing we may ever use on this till AA sends out another criteria that we need to fill out. Well, we're ready for next time. And Papa Moon, you know what? I'm proud of him because he is learning technology at 59 years old.
He is.
That I didn't think he'd be using. So look at him.
Oh, Nikki's dad just got an iPhone for the first time at age 75. So,
oh shit!
Oh boy!
And I think he's falling in love with Siri because like he found someone that he can ask like what was the Guardian score or who won the golf tournament or all these send a text, call, that kind of thing. There's someone else in his life now that he can tell what to do, and I think he's kind of happy with that.
Dude, that's funny.
Rob, funny. Actually, both of you, funny thing. I played a video on this show. This might have been a few months ago. I think Eli was off that day, but I played a video, and during the video, one of the players blurted out the word Alexa, and it reacted. My Alexa right here, right to the side of me, reacted to that video.
Who is that kid?
It scared me.
He played for Minnesota and for Tampa Bay. His last name was Siri.
Jose.
You know
Siri.
who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They actually had to make a press policy in their booth to turn off all voice activated devices because anytime he went up, you had 14 things going off around you. It was like you were in an eye store.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of Jose Siri, who I think was a Dayton Dragon way back when we were doing captain stuff.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. Hey, look, last thing I'll say tonight, because I know we could talk
I
forever.
hope he has a daughter named Alexa.
Oh my God. Last thing I got for this is, if you're a little bit older out there, that's okay. We love everybody. Be careful with your voice to text too. That's one thing I've learned with Pop Moon. I've had to talk to him about, because he's very notorious. In his car, he has it hooked up to the phone, so he can like send a voice. If somebody comes in, it's a text, whatever. It's like my sister, or somebody's like needs like, hey, checking in on my dad. He'll tap the message, hear it, and he'll send it back. And he just sends it. And I've got some of these, and they're not bad per se, but it's like I've been called Bob before instead of Bud. He's like, sounds good, Bob. I'm like, Bob? Who the hell's Bob? And it's like so just make sure if you're out there, for everybody, just make sure you check your voice to text. Make sure you're not calling your bud Bob. Make sure you're not, just because.
Or ho.
Don't
do that.
Well, Double A, if we're talking about that situation on
do
the
that.
dating app, I think they're standing on business with that.
Don't do that.
I'm an almost 44-year-old male. I have learned over my time on this planet, voice to text, tapping text, whatever text you want to do. If you're texting a significant other or anybody you want to be a significant other, you triple check that shit. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That is our PSA campaign here on the Inside Edge Network. If you learned nothing else, remember to proofread your text to whoever, and make sure it goes to the right person.
That's part of the proofreading. Yes.
Dude.
Depending on the text. Yes. Sometimes bosses don't need to read things, and you're good. You're good.
Dude.
There was one time, I was talking to someone. This was pre all mess, but I was talking to someone, at Cedar Point. I'm texting the girl, and I didn't check. The text I sent went to my old track coach that I worked with.
Oh,
way back.
I just really hope that person's understanding.
It wasn't like level 10 dangerous. It was like a level 6, 7.
Someone's like, what are you wearing?
It's like one of those, like, you mind if we don't talk for a couple of years? Yeah, I think that'll be best.
Dude. I had a call. Like, hey, man, is this what? Yeah, everything's good out here in Sandusky. Everything's good. Yeah, you good? How are the kids? Kids are great? All right, cool, bet.
And the last thing I got is, make sure if you're talking to somebody, you get their number for the first time, even if it's just business, but personal too, make sure you save their number. The last thing you want to do is get a random number and you're like, who is this? Because you don't have the thread. And then you look like an asshole, because you should definitely have this number saved. Not a good look.
Rob, go ahead, Rob.
A couple of years ago, that didn't happen it happened professionally. It was because you guys know how it is. You're doing radio, you're doing podcasts, whatever. You got a bunch of guests, and your phone's getting a bunch of numbers coming on in.
Yep.
And you're like, I'm not going to save anything. I know who I'm talking to. Yeah, I can context clues. I can handle that. And it was a couple years ago. I thought I was texting my Browns dude, so on and so forth. We get an interview hooked up, and long story short, that's why we were talking Cleveland Guardians in the middle of January on WTAM, just randomly, because person called it. Yeah, ready for my hit. I'm like, hey, what's going on? All right, I'm gonna have to find out something to talk to you about in the next 6 minutes, or admit that I'm a dumbass. Moving on.
I had same thing at the Fan and all that stuff. And I'll give you something recently. We're tagging on TikTok. We tagged, Moonbass stuff. And I thought I tagged the correct Eli Moon and left it alone. And, it was good to go. And then I get a notification. It's like, hey, thanks for the tag. And I look at some jackass from some other state. Like, man, I just deleted the whole.
That's why I feel bad for, at points in time, I feel bad for the sports talk host, Dan Patrick, because do you know who the lieutenant governor of Texas is?
Dan Patrick.
Dan Patrick. So whenever he does anything MAGA-y or Texas-y or Republican-y, Dan Patrick, the sports talk host, gets so many strays. And let's not get on to the whole idea of the recently retired Ravens play-by-play man, Jerry Sandusky. So you can definitely get a little confusion there.
Double-A. I don't think there's any more words we have for tonight. I think that's
Rob, thanks for coming on Midnight
Absolutely.
Run, breaking down the
No
Guardians
problem.
and everything. We honestly could keep going, but I've been falling asleep lately at like 4 a.m, so I need to go.
Yeah, I got to tap the brakes on that. I understand.
Yeah. Eli, great work tonight. Again, Eli, we're both off tomorrow, but we have programming. First off, Unfiltered with Kyle Cordell at 5 o'clock, and then 10 o'clock. Inside Edge Primetime, Chad and Autumn, and then Daily Spiral, Autumn and Chad. Basically, they'll be on for 2 hours, and hopefully we have a station to come back to on Wednesday. How about that? And you can see the three of us on the main event every single Sunday night right here on the Inside Edge Network. For all of us here, I'm Double-A Anthony Alford. Have a great night, and if you're a Guardians fan, you could sleep well tonight because your baseball team got better. Have a good night, everybody.